Games are out. Graham Scott, our referee, and his team are all in black tonight, and both teams wearing their first choice colours. Norwich in the yellow shirts with the green horizontal thin stripes, green shorts and yellow socks. Leicester in all blue, and they're just completing the pre-match handshakes. Let me run you through the teams once again. For Norwich City, Angus Gunn is their goalkeeper. Jack Stacey, Shane Duffy, Ben Gibson, Dimitris Giannoulis in a back four. Gabriel Sara, Liam Gibbs and Kenny McLean in midfield. And then further forward, Christian Fastnacht and Jonathan Rowe playing with Ashley Barnes, it seems, in a front three. For Leicester, Mads Hermansen is their goalkeeper. Hamza Chowdhury, Wout Faes, Yannick Vestergaard and Callum Doyle in the back. Yunus Akgün, Harry Winks and Cesare Casadei in midfield. The youngster on loan from Chelsea making his first Leicester City start tonight. Steffi Mavididi, Casey McAteer and Kelechi Iheanacho are the front three. And as for the benches, I remind you of Norwich's bench. Long is the sub-keeper. Ida, McCallum, Poeta, Bart, Hernandez, Forshaw, Hwang and Springett. Leicester's bench, Stolarczyk, Justin, Cody, Vardy, Fatawu, Daka, Pereira, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi. And a lot of names there on that Leicester bench that really trip off the tongue. If Enzo Maresca needs quality from the bench, he's most certainly got it. So Norwich 100% at home, Leicester 100% away. One or maybe both of these sides will drop points from that 100% record tonight here live on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. There's more live football tomorrow. Lask against Liverpool in the Europa League here on Talksport 2 at 5:45. England's women take on Scotland as the Nations League gets underway Friday night on Talksport at 7:45. And then Saturday afternoon, I'm at Sam's Old Club Luton Town for Luton against Wolves, our 3 o'clock kick-off on Talksport 2 in the Premier League. Myself and Perry Gross will bring you the Hatters against the Wolves. And Burnley, Manchester United, 8 o'clock Saturday night on Talksport. So on the ball, City rings around Carrow Road and Norwich will get us underway. And they'll be kicking from left to right as we look at the back of the Geoffrey Watling stand. So Norwich heading for the river end to our right in this first half. Leicester then heading for the Barclay end. And they've won a very quick throw in Hamza Chowdhury, who played at right back when Leicester went to Burton in the Carabao Cup earlier in the season. It's his first league start and he's chucked straight in as skipper of Leicester City tonight. Wout Faes works the ball back to Mads Hermansen and he will just trot around his own 18-yard box. No real press from Norwich, and Ashley Barnes certainly is playing furthest forward for the Canaries, it seems, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, they're man for man in the midfield at the moment. Gibbs is just released to go and get close to Harry Winks, so he's going to start without the ball as the number 10, if you like, Gibbs, but we'll see if it's going to be Kenny McLean maybe just anchoring the midfield with the 2 advanced 8s to mirror what Leicester are doing.
Ball's at the back with Ben Gibson and then Shane Duffy, the 2 centre-halves for Norwich. Little early touch for Angus Gunn, son of Brian, who came back here. He was a youth player here, went away to continue his goalkeeping journey, and now he's back. The prodigal son returned. Throwing for Norwich on the far side of the field inside their own half. Minute gone on Talksport 2-0. Dimitris Giannoulis takes the throw. There was a slight doubt about his fitness, and there's been an equaliser at Vicarage Road. Ian Abrahams.
Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Free kick given away by Watford on the edge of the D, deliciously curled in by John Swift. Goalkeeper Daniel Backman didn't even move. Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 1.
And as you heard from Moose, John Swift has never been on the winning side, but he scored in an away fixture for West Brom. He would love to put that right tonight. All square at the Vic, all square here at Carrow Road with nearly 2 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Norwich trying to play the ball out from the back, and it's neatly done by Giannoulis, finding the very talented Gabriel Sara, who can play right through the central midfield spine of the team. Work forward by Kenny McLean, and now out to Jack Stacey on the right wing. Lovely ball into the box, headed up and out by Yannick Vestergaard. Only as far as Kenny McLean, urged to shoot, tries to play a reverse ball down the right hand side of the box for Stacey. It's half cleared by Leicester, but they've lost the ball again. Now Liam Gibbs finds Stacey again across the face of goal, and brilliant save by Hermansen. Turns it away from goal, and then it's just whacked downfield down the right hand side by Casey McAteer, but Norwich have won it again. Left hand corner of the box is Jonathan Rowe this time. trying to make space for a shot. It's blocked by Chowdhury, and McAteer's back there again. An offside flag has gone up against a Norwich player, but breathless period of action there in front of the Leicester goal, Sam Parkin, 0-0.
Terrific pass from Duffy, stepping out, whipped it into the feet of Gibbs, I think it was. He set Stacey, and it was a pretty acute angle, but it was not one thing or the other, really. It was kind of a cross shot, wasn't it? A good height for the goalkeeper, and he palms it away nice and comfortably. I think maybe Jack Stacey, in retrospect, probably wished that he just put his laces through that from the acute angle.
Scored the winner, Jack Stacey, here from close range against Stoke City on Saturday. That got them the 3 points. Here's Mads Hermansen, who made that good save, arrived in the summer from Brøndby in Denmark, yet to make a full international appearance for his country. Ball's played forward, and here come Leicester. It's Cassidy into the area on his first start for Leicester. He tried to barge in between Stacey and Duffy, but out came Angus Gunn to smother on 8 yards. It's still Norwich 0, Leicester 0, but first time we've seen Leicester coming forward, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, it was a really lovely little bit of play from Aberdeen, then a nice secure touch and pass from Iheanacho. Cassidy hasn't got that scintillating pace really to break beyond the back line of Norwich and getting on goal.
Another goal at Vicarage Road in the Championship. Talksport 2, Ian Abrahams.
18 gone, Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 2, the Baggies turnaround complete. Ball given away by Watford on the right hand side when it was crossed in low, 6 yards out. Poking home was Jed Wallace, the skipper. Watford 1, West Brom 2.
Wow, West Brom no away win in 11, but they're ahead at the Vic. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. 4 minutes gone here at Carrow Road. Norwich City 0, Leicester City 0. Already Mads Hermansen's had to make a smart save for Leicester to deny Stacey. Throw for Hamza Chowdhury for Leicester on the far side of the field, the south stand. Iheanacho can't control it, so it's a Norwich throw taken quickly by Yanulis. And Gibson and Duffy exchange passes once again midway point of their own half for the Canaries. Gibbs is playing a much further forward role, so Sarah and McLean are holding, and Gibbs is really trying to join in with Barnes further forward. In fact, Barnes has dropped very deep at the moment. Quite a fluid system for Norwich City.
They essentially don't play with a striker, Dance, which is really interesting. Barnes actually got the previous time that Norwich were trying to play out. Gunn played it into Ashley Barnes' feet, and he was about 30 yards from his own goal. Those two want to come and join the play, and the two wide players stay right up on the fullback. So, yeah, really interesting shape, trying to get it into the centre forwards, but always having that out ball, I suppose, to the wide guys that have got the athleticism.
0-0, 5 minutes gone. Leicester in possession just in front of their own penalty area with Yannick Vestergaard. Neat pass down to this near side, the left, and it's sent forward by Callum Doyle looking for Cassidy. A tall, rangy looking young midfielder, Cesare Cassidy, but it snaked its way through to Angus Gunn, and now Jack Stacey carries the ball downfield for Norwich, gets away from Mavididi. Sarah is upended by Cassidy on halfway. Free kick to Norwich, but Graham Scott just says, all right, everybody calm down a bit. I'm not doing any more than just awarding a free kick to the home side, 0-0.
Yeah, just got his body in the way there, Sarah. Intelligent midfield play. Cassidy's been heavily involved in the opening few minutes. If he had that little bit of extra pace, he could have been in on goal twice. If it was a different profile of midfield player breaking between Norwich centre-halves, I think he would have been in for 2 opportunities already.
Gunn with a long straight ball downfield, aiming for Jonathan Rowe, but Chowdhury heads clear. But only as far as Jack Stacey, who powers forward down the Norwich right towards the river end, gets to level the area, puts a decent ball in, but Vestergaard heads it out for a throw into Norwich on this near side, 0-0. Level the edge of the area, taken quickly by Stacey, thrown back 10 yards or so for Kenny McLean, who plays a 1-2 with Gabriel Sara. McLean just rolls his foot on the ball. You were saying to me that he's just become a father for the second time, Kenny McLean.
Yeah. Baby daughter, I think, is second, so we'll see how the legs are feeling, how the eyes are looking.
If he lasts the 90.
As we approach full time, but I think shows you how important he's become for them, Dance, you know. Gone are the days, I think, when you have a night off, maybe, when you've just become a dad again.
Well, now Pookie's gone. He's got to be one of Norwich's longest serving players. He's been here since 2018, since he moved from Aberdeen. Now Sarah's been upended again. Yeah, Mavadini with the foul this time.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Kenny signed the new contract as well, so he's become a integral part. You never know when the lads come down from the SPL, how they're going to get on, but there you go, kiss of death. We've just kicked it into touch, but he's become a stalwart for them. I think he's having an outstanding start to the season in this more defensive role, I suppose. Probably the first time I've seen him be deployed this deep consistently.
Harry Winks finds Yunus Akgün just shy of the halfway line, but then it's worked back to the Leicester back four, and now to the goalkeeper Hermansen, who's standing just outside his 18-yard box, almost daring Liam Gibbs to come and close down the space. Plays a little 1-2 with Harry Winks. Now Chowdhury comes short, and he's not playing as we suspected before the game. Hamza Chowdhury is an orthodox right back. He will sit in there at times, but he's playing that sort of João Cancelo, John Stones role, really, isn't he, for Enzo Maresca? And that's no great surprise given Maresca's association with Manchester City as a coach, Sam Parkin.
No, we've seen it just full-back tucking in alongside Harry Winks, and it means that Doyle will shuffle over. Fass will go really wide on the right-hand side to make a back three, but essentially it's a back four, because the goalkeeper, we see him now well outside his box building. The goalkeeper becomes in essence the middle centre half, doesn't he, and involved in the build-up play to good effect there.
Iheanacho works the ball out to the left-hand side on Doyle, just shy of the halfway line for Leicester. Mavadini's dispossessed well by Jack Stacey, and also helped out by Fasnacht. But then Leicester win the ball back on halfway. Winks looks early down the right-hand side for Casey McAteer. Brings the ball down, but that allows Giannoulis to step in front of him. And then Rowe tries to get past Chowdhury, but the referee, Graham Scott, had spotted a foul on Giannoulis. And so it's a free kick in the left back. And the gold pig at Watford strikes again, Ian Abrahams.
Midway through the first half, Watford 2, West Brom 2. Glorious goal this. Martins picks it up 30 yards out, runs to the edge of the box, and right-footed curls it beyond Palmer into the far corner. Watford 2, West Brom 2.
And Real Sociedad lead Inter Milan by 1-0 in the Champions League. Don't forget Bayern Munich, Manchester United is live also right now over on Talksport with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. Just get the free Talksport app downloaded if you haven't done so already, and that allows you not only to swipe between the two Talksport stations, but you can now find all our sister stations throughout the Talksport family via the Talksport app. And Arsenal have the lead against PSV on their return to the Champions League. Bukayo Saka makes it Arsenal 1, PSV 0. 0-0 here at Carrow Road. 10 minutes gone on Talksport 2 in this clash between 4th and 3rd in the Championship. Ipswich and Preston holding sway at the top. Preston still unbeaten after their win last night. So Leicester, who would have been hoping that Preston would drop points to give them the chance to go top tonight, can only go within a point of the Lily Whites at the top of the table if they can win here and maintain their 100% home record. Sevilla 1, Lens 0 in the Champions League. Iheanacho dispossessed in the centre circle by Shane Duffy. Good strength from Duffy. Now Rowe looks out to the left-hand side. Giannoulis with a strong run to the byline. Pulls it back, and it's cleared away by Vestergaard for Leicester. And then brought away still further by Yunus Akgün. Good run by the recent arrival. Akgün gets up to halfway, plays a little reverse pass to get Iheanacho away. Running at the Norwich backline. Iheanacho into the area, dummy to shoot. Then had a go for goal, and it was brilliantly blocked by Shane Duffy, who had gone to ground but still managed to block the shot and deny Iheanacho getting anything on target. 0-0 it stays.
Great tempo. Norwich down the left-hand side. Giannoulis, great approach play. It was well defended by a Leicester City defender, and then Yunus, just great individual brilliance from him carrying the ball. Iheanacho looked like he'd done everything right actually to sit Duffy down on the deck, but then Duffy somehow just extended one of his legs to make a really important intervention.
Yunus Akgün is on loan from Galatasaray, who've got a 2-2 draw tonight in the early kick-off in the Champions League, having gone 2-0 down at home to FC Copenhagen. He's 23 years of age, Akgün. And Iheanacho just alongside him receives the ball, looks to release Mavadini over halfway. Mavadini's got Akgün ahead of him, and he's also got Casey McAteer right wing. McAteer gets to the dead ball line, comes into the area, tries a left-footed drive, and it comes off the back of Shane Duffy, and Angus Gunn prevents the corner kick by sliding to his left-hand side A few Leicester fans opposite us on the south stand thought that had gone over the dead ball line. Not so, says the assistant. 0-0.
McAteer and Mavididi have burst into life, haven't they, the last minute or so. Hardly said their name in the opening sparring, opening 12 minutes, but bursting into life. And twice in quick succession, the ball from the goalkeeper played into Iheanacho around the halfway line, able to take it into feet and get turned and supply those wide plays. That can't happen from the Norwich perspective. Maybe they're just too tuned in to go man for man in those midfield positions, but you've got to shield that ball into the centre forward. That's a dream for Iheanacho, especially a player with his quality on the deck.
That's the voice of Sam Parkin, former EFL striker, alongside me, Ian Danter at Carrow Road. 13 minutes played on Talksport 2. Norwich City 0, Leicester City 0. Giannoulis for Norwich, the left back, heads the ball down the far side of the field, but Fast can just let the ball drift out of play. Millwall have taken the lead against Rotherham at the Den in the Championship. Ryan Longman for Millwall, just 1 win in 6 for Gary Rowett going into tonight's game, but Rotherham themselves only 1 league win, and that came against Norwich City, Sam. That was a classic case of the Championship, just showing you how strange results can be at times.
Yeah, that was a colossal win from, wasn't it? Much needed. They haven't been able to build on it though so far, Matt Taylor's men, but yeah, they'll take some scalps at home, that's for sure.
Mavididi down the left wing for Leicester City towards the Barclay end, but that's good defending by Jack Stacey, watching the ball all the way, then just nicked it off Mavididi and floats a long ball downfield, asking Ashley Barnes to give chase, but Vestergaard is comfortably there first and will guide it back to his keeper Hermansen. 14 gone, and there is a pretty swift tempo to this game, Sam.
Absolutely, I think you can tell the confidence that's flowing through the Norwich City players. In particular, we knew Leicester were going to be strong coming down into the Championship, but the zip that the Norwich players are playing with, the clear identity, I think that's been missing probably for certainly the last 12 months, is really evident. I think a great summer, like I said, in terms of the players they brought in, but also on working on a style of play, and that is very evident to me straight away. Very comfortable on the ball. The
tempo aided and abetted by the very slick playing surface, which is pristine, or at least it was when we arrived. It's a bit cut up here and there now as we played 15 minutes. Cross from the left-hand side from Leicester, headed behind by Giannoulis for a corner, because he knew Casey McAteer was right behind him. First corner of the game, and it's gone to Leicester City at the Barclay end, 0-0.
Listen, that was a nice delivery from Doyle. It was a great area, good pace on it. I think he just had to pause there. There was a better ball square. Eunice was in acres of space, and all the Norwich City players, defenders, running, sprinting back into the 6-yard box. Nobody was aware of Eunice's position around about the D. That was the pass there for me.
So a corner for Leicester where the Barclay end meets the south stand. It's swung in by Atgun to the far post. Fast with a header, but it drifts way over the crossbar and will be a goal kick to the Canaries. It stays goalless on Talksport 2 with a quarter of an hour gone. Elsewhere in the Championship, Millwall leading Rotherham and Watford 2, West Brom 2, as you just heard from Ian Abrahams at Vicarage Road. And in the Champions League, Arsenal are ahead against PSV, and in our commentary game it is still 0-0 between Bayern Munich and Manchester United, but there is a goal in the Championship at Ewood Park. Talksport 2's Mickey Gray.
Where it is Blackburn Rovers 0, Sunderland 1. It was Ryan Hedges made a foul on Jack Clark in the penalty area. Clark went to ground. The penalty was given. Jack Clark got back on his feet, slotted the ball from the penalty spot straight down the middle of the goal to give the away side the lead. Blackburn 0, Sunderland 1.
Gibbs coming forward for Norwich, finds Jonathan Roll. Lovely ball into the area. Chance for Fasnacht to turn, and he fires on his right foot from the 18-yard line, but just couldn't wrap his foot round it enough, and he goes way over the bar. He had more time than he realised then, Christian Fasnacht. It's over the bar for a Leicester goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, Gibbs was a little bit over-elaborate initially, then he did well to keep it alive. Rowe with a lovely disguised pass into the feet of Fasnacht, and as you said, Dance, I think the pass is to the right once more. There's another little 5-yard pass in that to Ashley Barnes, completely unmarked, who would have had the opportunity to touch and then finish from a better angle.
Stays 0-0 on Talksport 2 in the Championship. Benfica are down to 10 men in their Champions League game against Salzburg. Antonio Silva has been sent off, and Salzburg have scored the resulting penalty through Rocco Simic. So Benfica 0, Salzburg 1 in the Champions League. Here's Kenny McLean for Norwich. Rolls the ball back with his left foot to Angus Gunn. who has the ball at his feet round about the penalty spot in his own penalty area. The two centre-halves have split either side of him, and it's Ben Gibson, son of Middlesbrough owner Steve, who receives it and gives it back to Angus Gunn. Now it's out to the right-hand side. Shane Duffy, right-hand corner of his own area. There's a high press from Leicester, and Mavididi comes to close down Duffy, but Kenny McLean turns it neatly around the corner. Stacey tried to release Fastnack down the right wing, but it was blocked by a Leicester boot. The ball goes out of play on this near side, and it ends up being a Leicester City throw, taken quickly by the Foxes and worked back to Yannick Vestergaard. Now Winks 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Oh, lovely little chop turn to get away from Sara. Tries to play a 1-2 with Iheanacho. Doesn't quite come off, but Iheanacho gets onto the loose ball for Leicester. Mavididi down beneath our commentary position has possession. Now it's worked back to the halfway line for Leicester, all in blue, attacking the Barclay end to our left in this first half. 18 minutes gone, it's goalless if you're just tuning into EFL Live on Talksport 2. Casey McAteer's the target for a downfield pass. He brought the ball out of the sky, stopped it going out for a throw, and in fact he's won a throw now right by the corner flag. And two quick goals at the John Smiths. Talksport 2's Alan Biggs.
Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. Matty Pearson headed Huddersfield in front. Now Daniel Johnson with the Huddersfield defence in disarray just moments after that opening goal. Daniel Johnson from close ranges level. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1.
Throw in to Norwich in their own left back position. Leicester made a bit of a haulix to the throw-in situation they had in a similar area right in front of their travelling supporters. Leicester won all three away at Huddersfield, at Rotherham and at Southampton. They won only 4 Premier League away games last season in their relegation campaign, and they were relegated on the final day despite winning against West Ham. Failed to win their first 7 in actual fact last season, Leicester, so much happier memories for the supporters opposite us for their get-go this campaign. But it's goalless here against this talented Norwich side. 19 minutes gone. Gabriel Sara picks the ball up midway point of his own half, then hits a diagonal ball into out looking for Jack Stacey on the Norwich right, but it's won by Callum Doyle. Cassidy is just clipped by Kenny McLean. Leicester have a free kick which they take quickly across their back line. Wout Faes closed down by Jonathan Rowe, so he turns and passes the ball back to his goalkeeper, and Hermansen will have a look up. Cassidy start to make a run through the middle. That's the target. He gets his head to the ball, Cassidy, but there's nobody who'd gone with him making that run. But he's a tall, rangy looking player, Cesare Cassidy, on loan from Chelsea. It's a good target for those long downfield balls, isn't he, Sam Parkin?
Yeah, he's quite an interesting. Got quite an interesting stature for that type of midfield player, attacking midfield player. Very physical, wants to play 1 and 2 touch. He's not really a dribbler. What he has got is excellent technique from distance. Saw that in the PL2 last season, and when he's represented his country as well, he's capable of getting you a goal from distance. So certainly in this role, he should get some shooting opportunities.
Yeah, had a few games for Reading as well on loan last year. 14 or 15 appearances for the Royals in their relegation campaign. Now Mavididi's got some space down the left-hand side. Crossfield ball went over the head of Jack Stacey, but he managed to retrieve the situation, Stacey, and put it out for a throw. Another goal at Ewood Park. Mickey Gray.
It's the equaliser. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 1. It came on 35 minutes. Harry Leonard at the back stick from 2 or 3 yards out, headed the ball into the back of the net. All that the home side deserved. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 1.
Winks for Leicester City. 0-0 here at Carrow Road on Talksport 2. Has to go back to halfway and Wout Faes. Hermansen is midway point of his own half. The Leicester keeper, Sam Parkin was saying earlier in commentary, he's almost like another defender when they're playing the ball out from the back as a back four, with the goal completely unguarded. And he's now directing operations, stood stock still in the centre of his own half. But there's not really much of a press from Norwich City to try and take the ball off him. Now Gibbs makes a movement towards him. He's out of his goal, and Shane Duffy could try and lob him from the halfway line. He's not keen to try it in the end because they lost possession, Leicester, and that's what can happen. But Duffy didn't take the shot on, having won the ball on halfway. Iheanacho dispossessed. Away down the left-hand side goes Liam Gibbs for Norwich. Rowe just on his outside, but Liam Gibbs cuts in field, finds Sara, out to the left end, Giannoulis. First time ball, it just goes beyond Gibbs, half volleyed clear by Vestergaard and brought down brilliantly by Kelechi Iheanacho inside his own half. And it will calm things down for Leicester. But again, Norwich looking lively down their left-hand side, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, Giannoulis has put in a couple of good deliveries. Liam Gibbs, to this point, is just lacking a little bit of conviction when he receives the ball in the half-turn high in the Leicester half. Maybe not showing that real attacking impetus that a natural number 10 would maybe show. So a little bit of a let-off for Leicester. Again, that ball being worked into Iheanacho's feet so easily, either from the goalkeeper or from one of the centre-halves. Norwich need to get hold of that situation, because that seems to be the way that Leicester City enjoy building.
Midway point of the first half, Norwich 0, Leicester 0 on Talksport 2. Arsenal have doubled their lead against PSV in their Champions League return. Leandro Trossard makes it Arsenal 2, PSV 0. Europa League football for you tomorrow night on Talksport 2. Lask against Liverpool. Ray Houghton's going to be alongside on commentary. And then the Women's Nation League starts on Friday night. England-Scotland from the Stadium of Light. Faye Carruthers, Joe Shannon and Lucy Ward will be your commentary team on Talksport. A 7:45 kickoff. Free kick for Norwich City, just over halfway. Sara floats it to the left-hand corner of the box. Fast gets it half clear. Vestergaard gets a strong header on it to head it out to the right wing. Casey McAteer lobs it over his head looking for Yunus, but it's won back strongly by Giannoulis. Now here is Gabriel Sara finding Jonathan Rowe, chops it back into the path of Gabriel Sara, tried to nick it in field, but it was blocked behind by Chowdhury for Norwich's first corner of the game at the River End, 0-0.
Yeah, there's been quite a few misplaced passes, I would say, just when Norwich have been getting into their groove, not been able to engineer that final little pass. It's happened in build-up play as well. Loads of endeavour, good tempo, just that lack of quality at the vital moment, I would say.
It's going to be a left-footed outswinger where the River End meets the South Stand from Gabriel Sara. A lot of zonal marking from Leicester inside the 6-yard box. Clutch of Norwich players around the penalty spot. It's played short into the near post. Rowe tries to get a shot in from a very tight angle, but it's right underneath it and it sails way over the bar. Norwich tried something off the training ground there, but it didn't come off for the Canaries. Goal kick Leicester 0-0.
Yeah, it actually worked pretty well, didn't it, in terms of the approach play, the ball into Gibson, then the set, but maybe because the angle was so tight, as you said, Dan, he would have been better placed looking for maybe the reverse pass into Gibson or just crashing it across the 6-yard box for a teammate, but nicely worked.
Brilliant crossfield pass from Vestergaard, finds Casey McAteer, break on here for Leicester, and Yunus now down the right-hand side of the area. McAteer's continued into the centre. Iheanacho and Mavididi in there too, but it's held up by Yunus. Goes back into midfield and Harry Winks. And then Chowdhury, faced up by Rowe, has to go further back still towards the edge of the centre circle. And Leicester have it on halfway and work it left to Callum Doyle. Doyle plays it along the deck for Iheanacho, gives it to Cassidy, who rolls it out to the left wing, and Mavididi, who's got Fastnack for company, works it back infield to Harry Winks in the centre of the Norwich half. Patient from Leicester here at the moment. Vass plays it out to the right-hand side to find Yunus, back for Fass again. Barnes comes to close him down. Now Casey McAteer in possession, but his first touch means he has to run back towards halfway for his second and third touches. And Norwich have forced Leicester back into their own half at 0-0.
Yeah, they got back into their shape really well there. It's quite compact, isn't it? 4-4-2 in essence. Young Gibbs up there with Barnes, will sitting in alongside him, making it really difficult. Was McAteer actually that was forced back, wasn't it, over on the far side, laid it back, and the impetus, the momentum went out of the move. Here's that pass again from the goalkeeper into the centre forward.
Yep, there was clear space for him to fire the ball into the feet of Iheanacho, who was fouled in the centre circle. Free kick to Leicester City. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Sevilla 1, Lens 1 in the Champions League. The French side equalise in Spain. Still Bayern Munich 0, Manchester United 0 over on Talksport in our other commentary game tonight. Fass for Leicester, up to Iheanacho on halfway, gives it back to the Belgian, plays a little ball over the top looking for Yunus, who claimed he was being held by Ben Gibson as he tried to make a run through the inside right channel, but Graham Scott, the referee, waves away the protest. Did you see anything there, Sam Parkin?
But yeah, well, Gibson's not looking at the ball. The ball that's clipped forward is never going to be reached by Yunus, and maybe that goes against him. But in essence, letter of the law, that should have been a free kick probably, Dance. Gibson wasn't interested, and that's the type of build-up they're probably trying to engineer there into Iheanacho. Sharp little set, and then they need forward runners, and they definitely got that there from Yunus. Unfortunately, didn't get the award.
Crossfield pass from Ashley Barnes forces Jack Stacey to backtrack a little bit. It's clipped back by Shane Duffy to Norwich keeper Angus Gunn. They were top 6 at the start of March last season in the Championship, Norwich, and then won just one of their last 11 games to slip down to mid-table. It was an extraordinary collapse for Norwich last season.
It's funny, wasn't it? There was that pocket of teams, probably around the middle of the table that you just felt were going to kick into gear. West Brom, Watford, Norwich, and none of it ever materialised. Neither of those sides kicked into the effect that got them into the shake-up, and you just felt with the strength and with the Premier League players that remained in each squad that they would be able to do it, but just filtered away.
Leicester have a free kick, and it's inside their own half with captain for the night, Hamza Chowdhury. Back it goes to Hermansen, the goalkeeper, who still stood outside his own penalty area. Winks now just 5 yards shy of the halfway line. Casadei lets it run across his body out to this near side, the Leicester left, and Callum Doyle, long raking ball out to the right hand corner box where Casey McAteer brings it down, running away from the penalty area now. Keeps possession. He was fouled by Fasnacht, and that's going to be a free kick for Leicester City, 30 yards out, not far to the right of centre, 0-0.
That's a wonderful pick out from Doyle. He had a little look square, picked it out McAteer beautifully. He must have been tempting to volley that first time on his right foot, decided to bring it infield, and just a little nick from Fasnacht, giving Leicester free kick in a good position.
Enzo Maresca's just had a little chat with Callum Doyle ahead of this free kick being struck. It does favour a left-footed delivery. Yannick Vestergaard is showing a bit of interest in this, but so is Kelechi Iheanacho. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 0. Leroy Sané, former Manchester City man, he'll have enjoyed that. That's live on Talksport right now. Bayern Munich 1, Manchester United 0 in the Champions League. Now Vestergaard has moved away. Kelechi Iheanacho is going to take this free kick, left-footed. It's a good 30, maybe even 34, 35 yards out, just to the right of centre. Norwich's wall is inside the D. As the vanishing spray goes down from Graham Scott, he's making pretty patterns out there because he's got to put little lines down for all sorts of players standing in and around this free kick. Iheanacho waits, hands on hips. And there's 2 or 3 Leicester players just to the left of the wall to try and mask Angus Gunn's view. Here comes Iheanacho, left-footed, and hits the wall. And that's another free kick for handball, I think. Is it? No, it's a foul. I thought it was handball given for a Norwich player, but there's a Norwich player hurt at the edge of the area as the free kick was smacked in. I think there was a Leicester player obstructing the Norwich player trying to clear the ball, but it's a free kick in the end anyway. Sam Parkin for Norwich, 0-0.
Yeah, a little peculiar, not entirely sure what the infringement was there, but yeah, it was definitely up against Vestergaard, wasn't it, that Graham Scott was suggesting.
McAteer for Leicester as the Foxes win the ball back on halfway. 0-0 on Talksport 2. 31 minutes played at Carrow Road in this intriguing championship clash between Ford and third in the table. Preston and Ipswich 1 and 2 at the moment in England's second tier. Here comes Callum Doyle for Leicester, playing the ball down the left-hand side to Mavididi, left-hand corner of the box. Early ball across the face of goal beyond Iheanacho. Can McAteer keep it in on the far side? No, he can't. Another lovely ball swung in by Steffi Mavididi, just ahead of Kelechi Iheanacho. And it's been given as a throw to Leicester, who claims that there was a touch from a Norwich player. I certainly didn't see one. Cross comes in from the right. McLean and Sarah help nod it clear. And it's back on halfway with Yannick Vestergaard who finds his keeper. Another goal at Ewood Park in the Championship. Mickey Gray.
45 minutes gone here. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. Sunderland got a corner. They played the ball out to the edge of the box. Blackburn didn't clear their lines, and Dan Neil with his left foot fires it low into the bottom corner to give the away side the lead. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2.
So we're waiting for goals here at Carrow Road, also waiting for goals at the MKM between Hull and Leeds. Maybe there's a chance here for an opener. Ashley Barnes coming forward for Norwich, right-hand corner of the box, ball into the area looking for Rowe. Might drop for Fastnacht on the edge of the box, but his thigh control let him down, and now Leicester can break. Yunus running through the centre circle. Mavididi trying to hold his run to stay onside. Now receives it for Leicester down the left-hand side. Yunus goes again down the left-hand side of the box, taking Duffy with him. Gives it back to Mavididi now, level with the edge of the area. Strong run from Mavididi into the area, onto his right foot, shot blocked by the backside of Shane Duffy. And now Angus Gunn will pick it up. Swift counter-attack from Leicester, but it comes to nothing in the end, 0-0.
Yeah, they're sharp, Yunus and Mavididi. We've waited half an hour really for Mavididi to get up in one-on-one situations. Firstly up against Stacey, then Sarah. I think he picks the wrong option there. There's 3 Norwich City players to go through really with that intended right-footed curler, and he's got good support square, and that again I think has been the criticism probably of Mavididi. Some great things this season so far, just that final little decision too often getting it wrong at the moment.
Yeah, Arsenal youth, joined from Montpellier in August. He's played for the likes of Charlton and Juventus in his career, Steffi Mavididi. Certainly showed the Southampton defence a clean pair of heels when running through for that 4th goal on Friday night live on Talksport 2 when Leicester put Southampton to the sword by 4-1. Much sterner examination here from Norwich City. 0-0 with 12 minutes to half-time. Norwich in possession with Rowe. Tries a little pirouette just out of the centre circle. Almost came off for him, but Leicester win it back. Tried to thread it over halfway. Intercepted by Duffy. Cassidy is dispossessed. Jonathan Rowe has it again. Just to the right of centre. Clips it in field. Gabriel Sara. Held up by Chowdhury. Stacey calling for it on the right-hand side. Picks it up now. Level with the edge of the Leicester penalty area. The cross deflected up in the air by Callum Doyle, and now headed out of danger for Leicester by Cassidy. I gather that the Bayern Munich goal against Manchester United is a bit of a horror moment for Andre Onana, and Bayern Munich are now 2-0 up. Former Arsenal man Serge Gnabry makes it Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0 in the Champions League. Foul by Casey McAteer on Dimitris Giannoulis, and we're going to get our first yellow card of the night, and it goes to the Leicester City number 35 for a clip on Dimitris Giannoulis. Free kick to Norwich, 0-0.
Yeah, he's very, very direct. Giannoulis has looked to drive forward on all occasions. That was harsh, I think. McAteer's only a fraction late sliding in, too tempting on a night like tonight not to try and just win that with a sliding challenge in the midfield area, but yeah, Graham Scott deems that to be a yellow card.
So free kick to Norwich in the centre circle, just inside the Leicester half. Shane Duffy looks up, sees Stacey making a run down the right-hand side, but the ball was dealt with by Callum Doyle. Mavididi just nods the ball down into his own path inside his own penalty area, fires the ball forward. Superb control by Ian Acho, and then Yunus works it out to McAteer on the right-hand side. Leicester have won it back. Vestergaard strokes the ball out to the halfway line, left-hand side, and Callum Doyle. Ball in field for Ian Acho, but poor touch from him, but he was fouled by Liam Gibbs as he released the ball. It wasn't a good touch from Ian Acho, but the referee decided he was caught late. And now Leicester have a free kick, and both Gibbs and Ian Acho are down. And the physios are standing on the touchline waiting to come on if they're required, but Gibbs says no, and nor does Ian Acho. The whistle's gone at Vicarage Road after what's been a very entertaining first half, it seems, in the Championship. Ian Abrahams.
Absolutely. Watford 2, West Brom 2. A 3rd-minute lead given to Watford by Tom Ince's curler was cancelled out by a brilliant John Swift free kick and Jed Wallace's effort before Matthias Martins curled one in with pace and power from the edge of the box on the midway point of the first half. Watford 2, West Brom 2 at half-time.
And a half-time score at the Den. Millwall lead Rotherham by a 0-0 in South London. Here in Norfolk, it is Norwich City 0, Leicester City 0 on Talksport 2. 36 minutes gone. Leicester have a free kick just inside the Norwich half. It's dummied by Harry Winks, who then plays it short to Chowdhury, and it's worked back to Vestergaard on halfway. Winks. Bit of a waste that free kick from Leicester. They've ended up going all the way back to their goalkeeper. And Hermansen will look up and again come outside his 18-yard box and play a short pass into his captain, Chowdhury. Back it goes to Hermansen. Once again, not much movement on the halfway line. He's looking for that straight pass to Iheanacho. Then he plays a long ball downfield, getting McAteer in, who's dropped to the left-hand side of the area, tries to step inside Giannoulis, who tracked the run. And he tracked it well enough, Dimitris Giannoulis, to allow Angus Gunn just to fall on the ball inside the area. But smashing run from right to left by Casey McAteer almost paid dividends for Leicester, 0-0.
Yeah, it's been a really good battle between those two. They're phenomenal athletes, the pair of them, really quick across the ground. Giannoulis has shown his strength going forward, and McAteer, as you said, Dan, that was a brilliant, intelligent run. The setup really is Winks and Chowdhury going to feet, trying to build with the centre-halves and the goalkeeper, allowing that gap to appear for Iheanacho. If they can't get it into his feet, then it requires runners down the side or in beyond, and it's certainly got that to really good effect there for McAteer.
That's Sam Parkin, you can hear alongside me, Ian Danter here at Carrow Road. 7 minutes plus added time to half-time, 0-0 here. Half-time at Ewood Park, Mickey Gray.
Where it is Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2. Sunderland taking the lead on 28 minutes through Jack Clark from the penalty spot. Equaliser coming from Harry Leonard's head on 35 minutes. Then on 45 minutes, just on the stroke of half-time, Dan Neil with a low shot with his left foot fired into the bottom corner to give Sunderland lead at half-time. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2.
Referee Graham Scott has just issued probably the easiest yellow card he will ever have to issue, as Shane Duffy clearly hauled down Kelechi Iheanacho in the centre circle after what was a smashing turn from the Leicester striker. He must have had a good chunk of his shorts as he pulled him down, Shane Duffy. But again, it was that straight pass from the goalkeeper Hermansen to find Iheanacho. They've done that 3 or 4 times tonight.
Yeah,
Leicester.
and it's not by luck, Dan. This will have been worked on. I'm sure of it. It's the position of Winks and Chowdhury and the wire players, the whole team in essence, when they're setting up. It's to allow that ball to go into him. And we spoke off air about why Iheanacho's been preferred to Jamie Vardy for a game like tonight. He's linked the play brilliantly.
Here's Iheanacho picking up play for Leicester, midway point of the Norwich half, under pressure from Gabriel Sara. Doyle takes over and Sara puts it out of play for a throw. They've reached half-time at the MKM in the Championship. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0. The half dominated by Leeds and 2 great chances. First, Jorginho played in from halfway. He's bearing down on goal. He almost had too long to think about it. Allsop made a fine save with his feet, and then Allsop again with a fine save after Somerville, who came on for the injured Nonto, lashed a volley that Allsop clawed away. Hull plenty to do here. It's Hull 0, Leeds 0.
Arsenal 3, PSV 0 in the Champions League. Gabriel Jesus getting in on the act. Good return to the Champions League for Arsenal. 0-0 here at Carrow Road on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. 5 minutes plus added time to half-time. Ian Dancer and Sam Parkin with you as we're sat at the back of the Geoffrey Watling City stand here at Carrow Road. Norwich in their yellow and green attacking the river end to our right. But they've given up possession on the halfway line, and it's Wout Faes who retrieves it for Leicester City. Vestergaard gives it back to his goalkeeper, and I have to say, Sam Parkin, we were talking about the 5 changes that Enzo Maresca made tonight, and we were questioning it, but Leicester have looked pretty solid in many areas, and players taking on their duties pretty solidly all over the pitch.
Yeah, I think they've probably looked marginally the more cohesive. I think there's been some good elements to Norwich City's play, but it's just broken down too many times. Ball's gone astray. Just not maybe as neat and tidy as Leicester City in possession, and also with their rotation, the way that they've been freeing up, especially the centre forward, to get on the ball. He's had an incredible amount of touches. I'll have a look at half time, because he seems to have been on the ball for an eternity in this first half.
Harry Winks finds Yunus, who is dispossessed by Gabriel Sara, legally, says the referee. Yunus works really hard to win it back, and then surely had his shirt pulled. That is a free kick, and that will be a yellow card this time for Ben Gibson for a shirt pull on the Galatasaray loanee, who felt he was fouled back 10 seconds before by Gabriel Sara. Didn't get the decision, got straight back to his feet, was really tenacious in winning the ball back, and then was fouled again, and this time did get the free kick.
Well, it's a clear pull, isn't it, from Gibson? He's still got a hand around his neck when he falls to the deck there. It's good play from Yunus, giving the ball away, as you said, and then reacting in the the right manner, and it's a problem now for the two centre-halves. Gibson arguably could have been booked for that tug on Eunice earlier in the half when he tried to get him beyond, so both of them got to be careful now.
Free kick to Leicester. We'll get off to the John Smiths for a half-time scoreline in just a moment here on Talksport 2, but what can Hamza Chowdhury conjure up from this free kick? Now there's a yellow card for Ashley Barnes for a bit too much back chat to the referee, I fancy. He's had a bit too much to say for himself, the Norwich number 10, who becomes another yellow card. Free kick clipped into the box by Eunice. Fast with a header, claimed under the crossbar by Angus Gunn. Half-time at the John Smiths in the Championship. Alan Biggs.
Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. Those goals coming in the space of 2 minutes. Matty Pearson for the home team. Daniel Johnson equalised. Stoke also have had 2 efforts disallowed for offside. Wide open game, very pacey. Too fast maybe for the referee Darren Bond, who pulled a muscle, the 4th official. Tom Reeves taking over. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1.
Norwich lose possession inside their own half at 0-0. Here's Cassaday, who's dispossessed well by Gabriel Sara, trying to launch a Norwich counter-attack. Jack Stacey making strides down the right-hand side for Norwich. Puts an early ball into the box, but that's going to be a comfortable claim for Hermansen, the Leicester keeper. Good run down the right-hand side again by Jack Stacey, but the cross didn't have the whip he would have wanted, and it was a comfortable claim for the Leicester keeper. 0-0.
No, and I feel in this first half Norwich City have lacked a little bit of a presence. Iheanacho has delivered that, hasn't he, for Leicester City? No question. He's been a real good focal point for them. Norwich haven't really been able to build off someone and been able to get high enough up the pitch on enough occasions to cause too many problems on Leicester's goal.
4-on-3 for Leicester if they play the ball right here, but they've just lost out with Iheanacho being dispossessed. But again, sloppy from Norwich as they try and clear. And Harry Winks finds Mavididi down the left-hand side, can run into the penalty area. Fastnack pushes him, goes down, penalty kick Leicester City. Mavididi was away down the left-hand side of the box. Christian Fastnack at his back. Down went Mavididi. Graham Scott had a think and then said penalty.
Again, Norwich architects of their own downfall, in good possession and giving the ball away, not really under any pressure. Harry Winks does really well to poke it down the left-hand side, and then I think that's one of those situations where Fastnack is always struggling to get back in, and Mavididi knows if he cuts across and just puts the brakes on somewhat, there's going to be a collision, there's going to be a bit of contact, and then it's definitely going to be a penalty. It's exactly what plays out. It's a little bit of naivety, I would say, from the wide player.
So Kelechi Iheanacho hasn't scored in the Championship yet this season, has the chance to do that now from 12 yards against Angus Gunn. Norwich fans behind that goal in the Barclay End trying to put Iheanacho off now that the goalkeepers aren't allowed to do that. It's going to be a short run-up, left-footed effort from Iheanacho, and he puts it into the roof of the net, and Leicester score as we move into added time at the end of the first half. Kelechi Iheanacho off the mark for the season in the Championship. After the penalty was awarded for the foul on Mavididi, we move into a couple of minutes of added time, and Leicester hit the front in this battle of 2 of the top 4. Norwich 0, Leicester 1.
Yeah, probably good enough power on it and direction, pretty central. Angus Gunn just gets a hand to it but can't divert it away from the target, and it's probably just about deserved. I mean, it wasn't much of a challenge, it was just the momentum of Fastnack that went into Mavididi. It's enough to be a penalty, and as I said, Leicester been in control, I would say, the last 15 minutes and probably just about deserve it.
Scored 5 in the Premier League last year, Kelechi Iheanacho, plus a couple of goals in the FA Cup when Leicester needed him most at places like Gillingham. But he's got his first Championship goal of the season, and only now at Norwich going to get things back underway as Iheanacho gets back into position on the halfway line. So the Foxes in front, and only a couple of minutes of added time. Already one of those has been played, but there'll be a bit more. But Norwich are giving the ball away again. Here's Mavididi again into the area left-hand side. Opens up his body and rolls it just wide of the post. Again, he had defenders committed. Norwich all at sea down their right-hand side, and Mavididi broke into the box, tried to curl it past Gunn along the deck into the far corner. But the shot was too straight in the end for Mavididi. Goal kick, 1-0 Leicester.
Sums up the last 15 minutes pretty well, that. Norwich loose in possession, Leicester growing but not having to work too hard for their chances. Norwich are presenting them with them. Mavididi, I thought they did pick the right option. He's lacking a little bit in support. Quick little touch, quick release with the strike. Just didn't quite get the bend on it to bring it back inside the post.
Free kick for Norwich just over the halfway line. This will probably be the last action of the first half. We've played the 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time that Graham Scott added on. But you've got to add on the goal celebrations and factor that in. As Gabriel Starr will have this free kick just over the halfway line, far on the left-hand side for Norwich City. Leicester holding a very high line, a good 25 yards out. The blue line of defenders. And Sarah strikes the free kick. Right-hand side of the box, brought down by Kenny McLean. Pokes it into the near post and fired out of play on this near side for a throw-in by Wout Faes. Braga 0, Napoli 1 in the Champions League at the end of the first half at the Quarry. Here at Carrow Road, 1-0 to Leicester. Stacey gets to the byline. Lovely cross, headed out by Vestergaard in the 6-yard box. Rowe tries to head it back goalwards, but got right underneath it. It's over the bar, and the boos ring around Carrow Road. You haven't heard that much this season because Norwich have been 100% in front of their own fans so far, but Leicester, who've been 100% away from home, have the advantage at the break, and it was given to them right on half-time when Steffi Mavididi went down in the area under pressure from Christian Fasnacht. Penalty awarded by Graham Scott, dispatched by Iheanacho for his first championship goal of the season. Leicester edging it in scoreline and in terms of performance. Sam Parkin?
I would say just about, yeah, from about half an hour onwards, they started to control proceedings, looked a little bit more crisper in their passing. Norwich got more and more disjointed as the half wore on. And do you know what? I think it's 45 minutes that ultimately, in conclusion, Norwich have taken a forward player out and put a midfield player in a slightly unnatural role in Gibbs, playing slightly higher. And I think they've lost a bit of threat and they've probably lost a little bit of cohesion. So I'm sure that will be the topic of conversation amongst the Norwich staff. Do they change that now and bring on an Adam Ida and be a bit more forceful? Or do they wait a little bit as the second half plays out? But definitely Leicester grew stronger in that half. The better chance and probably just about deserved to be in front.
Yeah, there's also Wang as well, who could be brought on as a forward player, as a physical presence up there. But certainly the options appear to be more plentiful on the Leicester bench when you look at what Enzo Maresca's got to toy with to try and either keep the scoreline as it is or even try and extend Leicester's lead. But certainly Iheanacho deserved his goal because his hold-up play and his relationship and his working relationship with the goalkeeper Mads Hermansen was really impressive in that first half. He was finding Iheanacho regularly down the centre of the pitch.
Yeah, we spend so long talking about, you know, teams that are heavy possession teams and like to play out from the back, and I think that's been really in evidence a team that have worked on the training ground in the last couple of days. I mean, he's made wholesale changes, 5 changes, so they would have worked on this because it's a team that won't have probably played together maybe since the start of pre-season. So they've looked at it on the training ground, they've worked at how they're going to play out, where they're all going to be positioned, and it's clearly Chowdhury and Winks are the two that are showing up. The position of Yunus has been really interesting. He's taken a midfield player away, so that means there's no one to shield that ball into the centre forward. It's worked brilliantly. Iheanacho, with all the nice touches, the nice control, the nice hold-up, he's battled well as well. He looked like he'd been up for the fight up against two uncompromising centre halves. I noticed that towards the tail end when they both got booked. He was given as good as he took, so it's been a really good performance from him. There's still some bits you'd like him to polish up. A few times he's got turned and there's been a pass on when they've really been in business, Leicester, and Iheanacho's pass or his decision making's let him down. But in the main, it's been a really good performance from him, and completely understand now why the manager's gone for him on a night like tonight.
Well, Enzo Maresca decided to play Kelechi Iheanacho in place of Jamie Vardy as one of 5 changes tonight. Fully justified in that selection, it seems, at the break, because it's Iheanacho's goal that separates the sides. Full second half commentary to come here from Carrow Road. But the half-time score here on your home of the EFL Talksport 2 is Norwich City 0, Leicester City 1.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League. Rugby World Cup 2023 on Talksport with Tenor Men. From the lineouts in Lyon.
There's a chance here.
To the scrums in St Etienne. From the drop goals in Saint-Denis.
Steps up right-footed.
To the final touch in Toulouse.
What a way to finish.
Listen to Talksport Breakfast all this week from 6 and get every tackle, turnover and try as the world's rugby elite do battle for the legendary Webb Ellis Cup.
Bulldozing his way to the line.
Rugby World Cup daily updates on Talksport with Tenor Men. Keep control.
What gives you more while you're holding less?
A mini dumbbell. More gain, less pain?
No, it's my new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. It unfolds and stands upright to take hands-free pics.
Useful. Want to snap these guns?
Buy the Galaxy Z Flip 5 from EE by 28th of September and claim a Galaxy Chromebook Go worth £299 on us. Plus, save up to £576 when you trade in your old Samsung in any condition. Claim on website within 30 days of purchase. Trade-in offer ends 30th of September. Max trade-in on Z Fold 3. T's and C's apply.
If you leave your customers happier than Larry. If you always take your boots off at the door. If you tend to get given the good biscuits, you might have what it takes to join the Trust a Trader professionals. Millions of people use trustatrader.com to find reputable, recommended tradespeople like you. So if you're looking for more business and even more good biscuits, apply to join us at
trustatrader.com. Get set to put one in the back of the net when we play the All-Star Penalty Shootout on Talksport with Nissan Vans. Go head-to-head in a virtual football trivia shootout and you could win the ultimate fan prize package, including VIP tickets to watch Manchester City, accommodation, spending money and even a PlayStation 5. Result: register to play now at talksport.com/win. The All-Star Penalty Shootout on Talksport with Nissan Vans. Accelerate your business with Nissan's All-Star Van lineup.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL. Live Super League, Salford Red Devils versus Catalans Dragons.
Pierce gets the pass away to Whitley. Whitley's over the line.
Friday evening from 7:45 on Talksport 2. The Rugby World Cup Show, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on Talksport 2.
Join me, Tim Cocker, every week throughout the Rugby World Cup as I travel France in a camper van so that you can get as close to the action on and off the field as possible.
He's going to go through and score in the corner.
Views of all the big games, the inside word from the team camps and previews of all the upcoming matchups.
What a strike!
Myself and Alfie Reynolds will also be joined by a host of ex-pros and pundits to keep you fully up to date.
The Rugby World Cup Show, Tuesday afternoon from 2 on Talksport 2. EFL Live on Talksport 2.
So Kelechi Iheanacho hasn't scored in the Championship yet this season, has the chance to do that now from 12 yards against Angus Gunn. Norwich fans behind that goal in the Barclay End trying to put Iheanacho off now that the goalkeepers aren't allowed to do that. It's going to be a short run-up, left-footed effort from Iheanacho, and he puts it into the roof of the net, and Leicester score as we move into added time at the end of the first half. Kelechi Iheanacho off the mark for the season in the Championship. After the penalty was awarded for the foul on Mabadidi, we move into a couple of minutes of added time, and Leicester hit the front in this battle of two of the top four. Norwich 0, Leicester 1. That is the scoreline here on Talksport 2 at the break. Ian Danter and Sam Parkin with you on your home of the EFL. Norwich 0, Leicester 1, full second half commentary to come. Let me update you on all the scores elsewhere in the Champions League. Our Talksport commentary has also reached half-time. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 0. Leroy Sané once of Manchester City, and also Serge Gnabry of Arsenal one time. They've scored the Munich goals. Arsenal 3, PSV 0 at the Emirates Stadium. They're really enjoying their return to Europe's Premier Club competition there in North London tonight. Elsewhere in Arsenal's group, Sevilla 1, Lens 1. In Group C, Braga 0, Napoli 1 at the break. Group D, Benfica down to 10 men and losing at home to Salzburg by a goal to 0. And Real Sociedad 1, Inter Milan 0. In the Championship, all these games are now back underway for the second half. Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1 in Neil Warnock's last game in charge of the Terriers. Hull City 0, Leeds United 0. Millwall 1, Rotherham 0. And Watford 2, West Brom 2. So you're up to date with all the goals that we have so far in the Champions League and the Championship. Now the Europa League gets underway tomorrow, and West Ham will kickstart their campaign at home, looking to push on after winning the Conference League trophy last year, of course. Ahead of their game, the Hammers boss David Moyes admits the Premier League will always be the priority, but the Europa League is an exciting competition to be a part of.
The first and foremost will always be the Premier League, will always be the most important thing, to try and make sure that you're always a Premier League club, because that's roughly where most of the money is comes from. But Europe's been so good, and Europe is probably, if I was going to put it in financial terms, is the most important competition after the Premier League, really. How well you can do in Europe, how far you can go. So from that point of view, obviously we want to target both. So the balance of that, being a club that plays on a Thursday and a Sunday, probably is never easy, the Thursday-Sunday games, for whatever reason. But over the last 2 seasons we've done it quite well. You know, a final and a semi-final the year before that. So we'll try and get the balance right. Always the most important game's the next one in my eyes. You're always trying to win the next game. The next game's on Thursday night, and we'll try and do that.
And they're taking on Tabaka Topola of Serbia at the London Stadium tomorrow night, West Ham in the Europa League. Brighton also making their European bow tomorrow in the Europa League. What a night for the Seagulls as they face AEK Athens at the Amex. And Roberto De Zerbi, their manager, has been speaking to the media about the need for his team to be ambitious in this competition.
The way how we will play, how we will compete can give us upgrade, no? But when I speaking about we are Brighton, is because we can't forget where we have started and who we were, no? And we can't lose our DNA. I often say we can lose our DNA because if we think to be better, we make a big mistake.
Brighton, who were sensational in winning at Manchester United Saturday afternoon. We brought it to you on Talksport 2. They're at home to AEK Athens for their first ever European fixture. Our commentary game from the Europa League is on Talksport 2 at 5:45. Lask against Liverpool. Jim Proudfoot and former Liverpool midfielder Ray Houghton will be your commentary team. That's here then on Talksport 2 at 5:45. Lask against Liverpool. Friday night, England against Scotland in the Women's Nations League, the first ever Women's Nations League getting underway, and we are at the Stadium of Light on Talksport, a 7:45 kickoff for England against Scotland. Faye Carruthers will be hosting the show. Joe Shannon and former Leeds United striker Lucy Ward, your commentary team, for some Friday night action live on Talksport. Saturday, 2 live games from the Premier League, the first of which is 3 o'clock here on Talksport 2 from Kenilworth Road. Myself and Perry Groves will be there to see if Luton can get their first Premier League win of the season as they take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. So myself and Perry Groves, that's not on UK TV, don't forget, UK TV I should say, don't forget, 3 o'clock kickoff, exclusive Premier League action on Talksport 2. And then on Talksport we bring you the evening kickoff, some Saturday night football. Burnley against Manchester United. Faye Carruthers once again hosting. Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray will be at Turf Moor. And then once that's done, we'll be off to the second fight between Zhili Zheng and Joe Joyce, with the Fight Night team Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark, to see whether Joe Joyce can get revenge for Zheng's victory a few months ago. Sunday, couple of championship games for you, exclusive to Talksport 2. Stoke against Hull is a high noon kickoff. Nigel Adley and the former Wolves goalkeeper Matt Murray are your commentary team for that one. And then whilst Sam Matterface brings you the Sunday session on Talksport from all the Premier League fixtures of the afternoon, including the North London derby, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Liverpool, West Ham and Brighton Bournemouth. Sunderland against Cardiff is the 3 o'clock kickoff in the Championship at the Stadium of Light. That's not on the TV either. Mark Wilson and the former Leeds boss Neil Redfern will be your commentary team for that one. Let's get an update from what's going on in the Championship at the moment at Ewood Park. 7:45 kickoff, so well into the second half in front of the watching Mickey Gray.
Yeah, 54 minutes gone, still Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2. Blackburn have been knocking on the door, came really close to an equaliser a couple of minutes ago with Lewis Travis with a right foot 25-yard shot. Well saved by Anthony Patterson, but it's been an absolutely fantastic game. Definitely not finished with the goals in this game. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 2.
Norwich City are back out here, and there is going to be a change at the start of the second half. I can see Przemysław Płacheta, the Polish winger, being ready down beneath us. I've seen a fair degree of Przemysław Płacheta, Sam Parkin. Pace to burn. It's the final ball and the quality from wide areas that just seems to elude him at times, but he's certainly quick.
Yeah, and it looks like Gibbs, doesn't it? I think, listen, he didn't do too much wrong, but the setup just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like they had enough urgency, probably enough know-how in the final third. I think I'm right in saying that, and that will give them another forward option.
Well, it's Jonathan Rowe that's gone off in actual fact. Yeah, Gibbs is out there. It's Jonathan Rowe that's been taken off, and so Przemysław Płacheta is on. No changes for Leicester City. So that is a surprise, isn't it? Jonathan Rowe, top scorer for Norwich this season.
Yeah, maybe a knock, although I think he's been withdrawn pretty much in every game before 90 minutes, so it's been a problem him last in the piece. So, but yeah, he was relatively bright, wasn't he?
He was. Back underway on Talksport 2. Leicester in all blue, attacking the river end to our right-hand side. Norwich in their first choice colours as well, of the yellow shirts with the green stripes across the chest, green shorts and yellow socks. Norwich attacking the Barclay end to our left in this second period. So the lineups for Norwich: Gunn in goal, Stacey, Duffy, Gibson, Giannoulis in the back four, Gibbs, McLean, Fasnacht, Sara, and now Płacheta in behind Barnes. For Leicester, Hermansen is the goalkeeper, Chowdhury, Fass, Vestergaard, Doyle in the back four, Yunus, Winks and Cassidy in midfield, McAteer and Mavididi either side of the goal scorer Iheanacho. Long high ball into the Leicester box. It's only half cleared by Vestergaard. Ball just eludes Norwich City players running from midfield to try and get onto it, and Wout Fass will just clip it down this near side for Casey McAteer, who's dispossessed, and Liam Gibbs comes away down the left-hand side, puts an early cross in, goes beyond Ashley Barnes. Will it drop for Sara? No, it's fired away by Callum Doyle. Barnes has stayed down inside the area. He's got a knock. Slowly getting to his feet. Play continues, and Leicester try and win the ball back on halfway, but Mavididi pushes into Kenny McLean, and that's a free kick to Norwich City. Barnes just rubbing his knee as he gets back to his feet. 33 years young Ashley Barnes knows his way around the EFL, of course, and the Premier League. Must have been a temptation as well, Sam Parkin, for David Wagner to look at his two booked centre-halves in Shane Duffy and Ben Gibson and think about making a change.
Yeah, there's real pace up against them, isn't there, in McAteer and Mavididi in particular. So when they come in field and can get running at the heart of that Norwich defence, it looks like a bit of a mismatch. So they're going to have to box clever now. They've got into a physical confrontation with the centre forward Iheanacho on a few occasions as well, and he's one out.
Here's Płacheta, first time we've seen him making tracks down the left-hand side. He skips past Wout Fass, but Chowdhury's no slouch. Gets there and knocks the ball back to his keeper. And then Fass and Winks will play a little triangle of football, and Hermansen then plays a very neat pass out to Callum Doyle, left-hand side, rolls it up to halfway. Mavididi gets the benefit of a ricochet or two, and it works back to the edge of the Leicester penalty area, where Fass and Vestergaard combine. Norwich 0, Leicester 1. 2 minutes gone in the second period on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL. Ian Dancer and Sam Parkin with you. Millwall have got a second goal against Rotherham. Zion Fleming has scored it just shy of the hour mark at the Den. Millwall 2, Rotherham 0. No clean sheet now in 9 games for Matty Taylor's Rotherham United. Now, Ashley Barnes, I mentioned, had gone down a moment ago with a slight problem when he went in for a cross to the near post, and he's now looking in some discomfort as he sits down just inside the Leicester half of the field and needs a bit of treatment. 1-0 to Leicester. Here's Sam Parkin.
Strange, wasn't it? Because it was just dinked up at the near post. It looked like he was just trying to change his body position to get a finish away. Looks to be the top of the foot, maybe the ankle. Adam Eder is getting ready down there, so
yes, he is.
Maybe Ashley Barnes feels this is the end of his night.
Yeah, Eder is already taken off his tracksuit bottom, so he's just got his tracksuit top on. We can already see the number 11 on his shorts, so we'll be on sooner rather than later for Norwich, the Republic of Ireland youngster. Manchester United get a goal back on Talksport. Bayern Munich 2, Manchester United 1. Rasmus Højlund opens his Manchester United account 4 minutes into the second half in Munich. That's live on Talksport right now, remember, with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce. David Wagner looks on. Ashley Barnes still receiving treatment. He sat up, but it may well be the end of his night. Hamza Chowdhury's just checking on the health of his opponent, and Barnes is now being led to this near touchline, getting some applause from those around us, both in the main stand and in the Barclay end to our left. But Eder is primed and ready, and they've had the playbooks out down beneath us just to explain to Adam Eder what is required of him, and he'll be on because he's now taken his tracksuit top off. So the number 11 is going to come on for Ashley Barnes here, it seems, although Barnes has now turned and faced the pitch again. He wants to come back on, but he'll have to wait. Having had treatment, you now have to wait for your opportunity to be reintroduced. You can't just run straight back on. You've got to leave it 30 seconds or so. So Barnes will have to wait whilst Leicester get played back underway. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Leicester leading by 1-0. Wout Faes on halfway for the Foxes. See the crowd getting impatient, wanting Barnes back on, but maybe they don't know the law, the way it's been changed, that they have to wait for a predetermined number of seconds. Here's Chowdhury in the centre circle, and the cheer as Barnes is now allowed back on. Fans don't know the law yet, do they? They don't know the change. Chowdhury, midway point of his own half, almost had the ball taken off his toe by Gabriel Sara. Hermansen, the keeper, just lofts the ball right-footed down to halfway. Headed up in the air by Gibson. Giannoulis tried to hook it over halfway for Norwich, but it's won back by Casey McAteer. Fouled by Sara. Free kick to Leicester on halfway. Eder's gone to sit down again for Norwich. He's put his tracksuit top back on, but maybe he might have to change his mind again. Keeping our eye on Ashley Barnes, who's back out there in the centre circle. Norwich 0, Leicester 1. Heavy touch from Harry Winks, but his second touch is much better. Lovely floated ball over the halfway line to find Cassidy, trying to toe poke it through for the run of Iheanacho through the middle, but overhit the pass, and Angus Gunn was swiftly out to the edge of his penalty area to claim for Norwich. And a red card at the MKM Stadium. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0, but Leeds down to 10. Joe Rodon was booked towards the end of the first half. He's just been booked again. He went in, a lunging tackle on Connolly, who just beat him to the ball. Referee, I don't think, had any hesitation in giving him a second yellow, so he's off. Half an hour to go. It's Hull 0, 10-man Leeds 0.
Giannoulis for Norwich. Up to the right-hand corner of the box. Stacey picks it up. Can't get past. A great challenge from Callum Doyle, but it's picked up in midfield by Kenny McLean. Tried to slide it down the right-hand side of the box. His shirt was being pulled as he tried to release the pass, but Norwich have kept possession anyway. Giannoulis lofts the ball into the box. Comfortable claim for Hermansen on 8 yards, and he bowls it out, overarm out to the left-hand side for Mavididi to trot forward for the Foxes. Iheanacho up ahead of him. Oh, that's good covering from Jack Stacey, just to get back goal side and win the ball back for Norwich. 1-0 to Leicester.
Yeah, terrific athleticism again from Norwich, especially down this left-hand side with Giannoulis, but then that final ball once more found wanting.
Here's Poeta into the area for Norwich City, onto his weaker right foot, gets the shot away, it's headed up in the air by Doyle. Where's that going to drop? Vestergaard tries to help it out the area, drops for Gabriel Sara, tries a volley from the edge of the D, got nowhere near it. Oh, and almost dropped for Liam Gibbs in the area, and it's gone behind in the end for a Leicester goal kick. And they were living on their nerves at the back a little bit, the Foxes there, but they survived and they keep their 1-goal lead.
Yeah, Giannoulis did really well backing up the play, keeping it alive, and it actually went into a really good position for Liam Gibbs on his left foot. He just didn't connect at all, just needed to steer it towards the far post with his side foot, but was unable to get any contact.
Well, they are making that change now. Norwich City, Adam Eder is coming on for Ashley Barnes, who hasn't been able to run off that knock he picked up. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 1. The 2-goal cushion is restored. Harry Kane scores against Manchester United. 26,277 here tonight, including a sizable contingent, nearly 2,000 Leicester fans here in Norfolk. And they're seeing their side in front by a goal to nil with 9 minutes gone in the second half. Ball forward, though, is intercepted for Norwich by Shane Duffy. Cassidy just hooks it away from him and out of play for a Norwich throw, which they send back into their own half for Ben Gibson. Gibson finds Kenny McLean into the feet of Gibbs, turns it neatly round the corner down the right hand side for Jack Stacey. Now a chance for Fasnacht to put the ball into the box. He hits it against Wout Faes. It stays in play down by the corner flag where the South Stand meets the Barclay end. Still wrestling for possession. It might break here to fire across the face of goal, and it's turned behind by Hamza Chowdhury. Norwich have a corner at the Barclay end. They're screaming for a penalty. They think that Hamza Chowdhury handled that. Chowdhury's hurt himself in putting the ball behind, but it's a corner kick to Norwich. All the same, Leicester 1 up.
Yeah, Fasnacht did well to just keep it alive there. Faes was really tight with him on the near side. Doyle as well, and Gibbs is quickest to the loose ball, just flashed it across. Yeah, just strikes him in the midriff, doesn't it? Chowdhury in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he's going to have to count him. Now he's got to his feet. Corner kick for Gabriel Sara at the Barclay end. Left-footed in-swinger to come for Norwich City. Trailing by a goal to nil here with 10 minutes gone in the second half. In it comes from Sara, drilled deep to the far post. Faes will flick it away, and it won't go out for a corner on this near side. Instead, it's out for a Norwich throw. Salzburg have a second at 10-man Benfica. Oscar Glue makes it Benfica 0, RB Salzburg 2. Long throw going to come in for Norwich into the penalty area from Dimitris Giannoulis, their Greek left back. Drives the ball on his jersey, looks for an option. Paheta is there for a short throw. Eder just inside the box, he's the target, but Chowdhury gets his head to the ball. It's half cleared by Yunus. It drops at the edge of the area. Norwich can't get a foot on it and is hooked away by Harry Winks. Lovely first touch from Iheanacho. Almost sent Mavididi away, but it was just overhit. Norwich have a throw, but this is better, Sam Parkin, from the Canaries, having gone in behind at half-time.
It is. Leicester City have just lost their way a little bit. They're unable to connect their passes. Iheanacho's become a little bit of a passenger start of this second half. So, yeah, Norwich on top, just trying to create that meaningful chance.
But they're making a couple of changes here, and they're great changes for a manager to be able to make. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall is coming on for Cesare Cassidy, and Wilfred Ndidi is replacing Yunus Akgun. So two very talented midfield players replaced by two equally talented first choice midfielders. And there's a goal at the John Smith Stadium. Talksport 2's Alan Biggs.
Well, Stoke City have turned it around, looking to end a run of 3 straight defeats. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 2. Ben Wilmot with a glancing near post header from Haksabanović's corner has put Alex Neil's side in front. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 2.
Don't forget you can react to all tonight's action in the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on Talksport from 10 p.m. 03717 22 3344. Norwich 0, Leicester 1 if you're just tuning into EFL Live. Here come Norwich trying to get themselves level. Eder, lovely ball to Jack Stacey at the edge of the area, right hand side. Looking to jockey away from Callum Doyle, who gets a foot in and puts it behind for another Norwich corner at the Barclay end. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, brilliant from Eder. That should give him some confidence. Wins the physical battle, then he's got the vision as well to spread the play. Jack Stacey, not for the first time, just a little bit hesitant when he gets into a one-on-one situation. Doyle actually defends it brilliantly, stands up tall, doesn't commit himself and gets an important foot in.
So another left-footed in-swinging corner to come from Gabriel Sara for Norwich City. Clutch of Norwich players just by the penalty spot. 4 or 5 of them all grouped together. They will split as the corner is struck by Sara. It's lofted to around the penalty spot. Duffy heads it goals, might drop 6 yards out for a yellow shirt. It's still pinballing around, and eventually Leicester City get it clear. Out to the right back position where Casey McAteer feeds Harry Winks, and now there's a counter-attack on for the Foxes. Winks tight to this near touchline, gets inside the Norwich half and then works it back into his own half of the field for Hamza Chowdhury. Panic stations a little bit there in the Leicester box just for a moment there, Sam Parkin, but they couldn't get the shot away in the end, Norwich.
They got stuck a little bit, didn't it, amongst a few bodies. Looked like Fasnacht was best placed to get a strike over his left foot, but he wasn't able to execute it, and Leicester survived. But their attacks are becoming more and more sporadic.
Here's Wilfred Ndidi, first involvement down the left-hand side, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Little dummy from Mavididi allows Iheanacho to pick it up at the edge of the area, but Fasnacht was there. He's lost possession though. Dewsbury Hall, his first involvement, just toe pokes it back into midfield for Hamza Chowdhury, and further back to halfway and Wout Faes. Leicester trying to re-exert control over this football match. They lead by a goal to nil as we approach the hour mark. Down the left-hand side, Mavididi is offside, and it'll be a free kick to Norwich City in their right-back position. So elsewhere in the Championship, Sunderland 2-1 up at Blackburn. Stoke, as you've just heard from Alan, 2-1 up at Huddersfield. Hull nil, Leeds nil, but Leeds down to 10. Millwall 2-0 up on Rotherham, and no goals after 4 quick goals in the first half shared by Watford and West Brom. That's still 2-2 at Vicarage Road. Here at Carrow Road, and exactly an hour played. Norwich City 0, Leicester City 1. It's with Ben Gibson, midway point of his own half. Just plays it backwards the square to Gabriel Sara. Back it goes to Gibson once again, who's just in from this near touchline. We're sat at the back of the Geoffrey Watling stand here at Carrow Road, with Leicester in all blue attacking the end to our right, and they send it through for Kelechi Iheanacho. What a challenge. Shane Duffy sliding across as Iheanacho was threatening to run through. Poeta and Chowdhury clash on this near side, but Chowdhury gets the better of his man, and Poeta has a little shout at the fourth official saying, "Didn't you see a foul there on me?" Nothing doing, say the officials, and Leicester work the ball back to their goalkeeper Hermansen. Just outside his penalty area, closed down by Gibbs, so he plays it just to his left and Yannick Vestergaard. Up it goes to halfway. Iheanacho lays it off to Winks. Dewsbury Hall looks early for Casey McAteer down this near side, the Leicester right. 10 yards inside the Norwich half of the field. They work it back to halfway there. They're calm and measured in their passing at the moment, Leicester City. It's with Vestergaard once again at the edge of the centre circle. Under pressure from Gibbs as pirouettes away from him. Finds Chowdhury. Chowdhury into the feet of Iheanacho with his back to play. Lays it off to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall with his socks half rolled down, Jack Grealish style. Finds Callum Doyle up to the edge of the area, and Ndidi gives it back to Iheanacho, who tries to drive. It was fiercely struck, but well wide in the end, and that's a goal kick to Norwich City. Leicester still leading by a goal to nil. Here's Sam Parkin.
Yeah, I think exactly the last couple of minutes what Enzo Maresca would have been looking for from those substitutions. I don't think that the changes in that department in the advanced midfield positions work tonight. I think it's a missed opportunity for Cassidy and Yunus. I think Yunus faded. I didn't think Cassidy got up to the speed of the game at all.
Ida down the left-hand side for Norwich City, tight to this near touchline. He's got support from Giannoulis, who goes down under pressure from Faes, but Faes got to the ball first, says Graham Scott. He has turned it behind for a Norwich City corner away to our left. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, the Norwich fans are pleading, aren't they, trying to get Graham Scott to even things up by giving another penalty. There's nothing there at all. I think Giannoulis is playing for that. When the ball's travelling towards him, he's made his mind up that he's going to go over. Gets there first and needs to take it under his spell. He's waiting for the contact. Nothing there at all. Well played, Graham Scott.
Fasnacht will have the corner at the Snake Pit part of the ground where the Barclay end meets the Geoffrey Watling stand. Right-footed in swinger to come from Fasnacht into the near post. It's cleared away by Wilfred Ndidi, who was there first, but Fasnacht gets to the loose ball, sent a lovely arcing cross back into the box. Duffy heads it back across goal. Fast heads it up in the air. Duffy tried to get the volley, but it was brilliantly cleared by Callum Doyle. But Norwich have it back right wing. It's with Jack Stacey, faced up by Doyle, hits it against Doyle, and out of play for a Norwich throw. Good defending by Callum Doyle, not once but twice there.
Yeah, Duffy fancied it, didn't he? He was just winding up the left foot, but as you said, brilliant defending from Doyle, fantastic stuff.
Back with Norwich on halfway, and Giannoulis plays it down the right-hand side of the box. Callum Doyle heads clear. Saro, lovely back heel, finds Stacey inside the box, right-hand side, hits it against Doyle, behind for another corner kick. Another goal at the John Smiths. Alan Biggs.
Yes, Huddersfield 2, Stoke City 2. Jack Rudoni has brought Huddersfield back into it with a shot on the turn, beautifully set up by substitute Ben Jackson. Neil Warnock can scent victory in his final game now. Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2.
Corner to Norwich. They're a goal down to Leicester here on Talksport 2 at Carrow Road. Gabriel Sara to take another left-footed in-swinging corner at the Barclay end. Up go the heads. Duffy flicks off the top of his head, comes out to Giannoulis 30 yards out, and he balloons a left-footed shot that almost lands in the top tier of the Barclay end. It's a goal kick to Leicester City, and it remains 1-0 to the Foxes on your home of the EFL.
I think they've defended their box really well, Leicester City, from corner kicks and from dead balls. It was a perfect touch, Giannoulis, to set up the strike, but quite fancied him as well. But awful execution, high and wide.
Norwich with a very high press as Leicester get the ball out of harm's way. Dewsbury Hall just turns the ball downfield from his back to play, looking for Mavididi. It's good defending though by Jack Stacey, and he finds Fasnacht and was fouled as he released the ball, but the referee says play on. I like the look of Jack Stacey in this Norwich lineup. He's worked really hard tonight. Up to the halfway line it goes. It's Giannoulis in possession for Norwich, into the Vita Vida, tries to turn the ball around the corner down the left wing for Poeta, but it got a touch of Casey McAteer and rolls through to the goalkeeper Hermansen, who bowls it out. Overarm looking for Doyle, but in step Kenny McLean to snap into the challenge. I think there's more changes being readied. I think Wang's going to be brought on for Norwich sooner rather than later. It's just getting some instructions from David Wagner down beneath us just to our right. 25 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Ian Danter and Sam Parkin with you at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, Leicester 1. Ian Acho's penalty in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Still separated the sides. Nicola Barella sent off for Inter at Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad still leading that Champions League game by a 1-0. Manchester United 3-1 down against Bayern Munich live on Talksport right now, and Arsenal 3-0 up against PSV in the Champions League. Here come Norwich at a goal down with Shane Duffy. Heavy touch as he moves into the Leicester half, but he can still keep it away from Steffi Mavididi. Works it back to Gibson. Now Poeta takes over down the inside left channel. Little pirouette to get away from Dewsbury Hall, but Dewsbury Hall sticks his foot in, goes out of play for a Norwich throw, taken very quickly. They're not hanging about Norwich. And Onel Hernandez going to come on as well for Norwich. A double change being readied by the home side. Giannoulis heads the ball across the 18-yard line. Eder with his back to goal at the edge of the area, trying to tee up an opponent or even try and turn and get a shot away himself. But Ndidi wins the ball back, is fouled. Leicester City free kick. And they can just ease the pressure again just for a moment. They're making a change too, Leicester. And Ian Acho comes off, and a certain Jamie Vardy comes on to replace him, who only took 21 seconds to score in the game you were at on Friday night at Southampton, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, he was really good. He looked absolutely at it on Friday up against two relatively inexperienced centre-halves. I thought he bullied them physically. Also made some really good runs, as you would expect him, beyond. Used his physicality well, got his goal. Different proposition for him tonight up against two seasoned campaigners, but I think it probably calls for Jamie Vardy to be stretching that back line. Ian Acho's done his job, hasn't he, for 67 minutes, coming to feet, linking the play now. Those 3 points so close to being in touching distance for Leicester City. Just play the percentages a little bit more, play down the sides.
Quarter of the game to go. Double change also made by Norwich. Fasnacht and Gibbs taken off. Wang has come on, and so too has Onel Hernandez. as Norwich try and preserve their 100% home record, but Leicester, quite conversely, about to preserve their 100% away record, and they're away again down the left-hand side, the Foxes, with Steffi Mavididi, rolls it back to Ndidi, 25 yards out, and his shot is way over the bar, got right underneath it. Goal kick to Norwich, and a big way accompanied Ndidi's strike at goal from those of a yellow and green persuasion.
Yeah, he's been in the mood, hasn't he? Ndidi this season, not known for his goals, but he's been popping up with some nice finishes, and yeah, just an indication there probably of what could get Leicester City success in the remainder of this game, playing down the sides from Mavididi's athleticism, getting onto the ball, and Ndidi getting his first strike away.
Leicester will have the ball on halfway with Wout Faes. Another goal at Ewood Park, by the way. Let's get to Talksport 2's Mickey Gray.
Gone to the away side again, Dan. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3. Jack Clark with a weave and run into the 18-yard box, and a superb finish to top this performance off from Sunderland tonight. They are absolutely cruising. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3.
Dewsbury Hall just heads the ball over for Leicester. It was a swirling cross from the left-hand side by Steffi Mavididi, and Dewsbury Hall on his own, 8 yards out in between centre halves, but just got underneath their header, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, a little bit lofted and a bit high maybe for him to be able to get over it and direct it onto the target, but exactly what we're seeing from those two that have come on, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi, getting into goal scoring positions. Didn't really see that from Cassidy and Eunice in the first half. A couple of good little bursts from Eunice, but really they didn't affect the game to the extent that I'm sure Maresca hoped for.
Heavy touch from Gabriel Sara. Vardy's won it back, motors into the area, and it's retrieved for Norwich by Ben Gibson, but he's given away. A foul by Jamie Vardy as he tried to bring the ball clear. Ben Gibson, he was caught off the ball by Jamie Vardy. I thought for one moment the referee pointed to the penalty spot for Leicester City, but instead it's a foul by Jamie Vardy, who'd won the ball off Gabriel Sara, motored up to the edge of the area and just left his foot on Ben Gibson as Gibson slid across to clear the danger for Norwich. Yellow card for Vardy.
Yeah, it's probably the right decision because it's a bit dangerous and it's a bit reckless, but I think it's just, we see it so often, poor touch from Jamie Vardy just as he sees the whites of the goalpost and thinks that he's going to get a strike away on his left foot. Touch let him down, Gibson makes the challenge and he just goes into him with his momentum.
Now here's Hwang, turning away for Norwich, caught by Winks, free kick to Norwich, about 35 yards out to the left of centre. Don't do that, Hwang, don't do the holding up yellow card gesture, and that's what happens. He gets the yellow card for making the yellow card gesture to the referee. You can't do that anymore.
It's funny because I think Iheanacho did something similar. I don't know if he actually waved the card, but he was certainly asking for a booking from, I think it was Duffy or Gibson who got booked for the foul on him in the first half, and Graham Scott was a little bit lenient. There it was a bit more obvious from Hwang, and no hesitation, gets yellow carded.
So Hwang's foul, but he gets the yellow card, but Norwich do have a free kick midway point of the Leicester half. Sara sends it into the box, headed out by Vestergaard, comes out to the right-hand corner of the box. Onel Hernandez looking to jockey his way past Callum Doyle, gets the cross in from the byline. Duffy, what a save! Hermansen stays out, and Hermansen claims the ball right on the goal line. Shane Duffy felt certain he'd equalised. What a save from the Leicester keeper to keep the Foxes in front 1-0.
I was just thinking how well that Leicester City have defended balls into the box, but more than that, in the one-on-one situations wide, nobody's made any headway. There, Hernandez gets to the byline, and then the stand-up is just delicious. It's a striker's dream, on this case, a centre-half's dream. Duffy, towering header, just a bit too central, gives the goalkeeper a chance, but not taking anything away. Hermansen with an exceptional bit of goalkeeping.
Leicester hold on to their one-goal lead. 18 minutes to go on Talksport 2. But Norwich are asking questions. Played better in this second half, David Wagner's men, but Iheanacho's penalty still the difference. And as Sam Parkin's been saying, Leicester at the back have looked pretty solid for the most part. That's the best chance that Norwich have had in this second period. Dewsbury Hall, meantime, for the away side. Works the ball out to the left-hand side, and it's back inside the Leicester half with Yannick Vestergaard once more. Fast just to his right, and the goalkeeper Hermansen, who's just made that terrific save outside of his penalty area, gets it back now inside the D. Ida comes to close down the space. He looks for Ndidi, just kept the ball away from Kenny McLean. He's still quite keen, this goalkeeper, to pass the ball out rather than hit it long. And here's Dewsbury Hall in his right back position for Leicester. Lovely ball round the corner for Winks, who then lays it off for Vestergaard, and Leicester played themselves out of a spot of bother very, very neatly indeed. Harry Winks inside his own half. Arsenal 4, PSV 0. Martin Odegaard gets the 4th for the Gunners on their return to the Champions League. Kenny McLean wins the ball back for Norwich. Jack Stacey motors up to halfway, plays the ball in field to Hwang. Stacey's calling for again on the right hand side, but Hwang's carrying the ball. Now he releases Stacey down the right hand side of the box. Ida's gone down inside the area. Chowdhury heads it behind for a corner. Graham Scott hasn't spotted what the Norwich fans are saying is a foul on Adam Ida, who can't believe that nothing's been given apart from a Norwich City corner. Chowdhury's got cramp. Corner kick coming up for Norwich, who trail by a goal to nil.
Well, how can the referee see it when the ball's wide on the right hand side? There's loads of bodies running into the box. There's a bit of a collision there. He needs help, I suppose, from his official dance if that's going to be a penalty. I don't think the referee can possibly see that when the play's building on the right hand side.
But it was a corner kick for Norwich. Gabriel Sara to take it again. Left-footed out-swinger on the left-hand side of the Barclay end. Quarter of an hour to go. Lots of movement around the penalty spot. In it comes, headed away at the near post by Jamie Vardy, back doing defending. Onel Hernandez picks up the loose ball, gives it back down the left-hand side of the area. Poeta across the face of goal, almost spilled by Hermansen, but he pounced on the loose ball as it almost squirmed out of his grasp. And Leicester are still 1-0 up.
Yeah, no takers at the near post really, was there? That was half a chance when it spilled off the goalkeeper.
Here's at the other end, Casey McAteer as Leicester come forward, slides it into the area. Oh, Jamie Vardy, was he trying to backheel it for Mavi, did he? Almost tried to be too clever, and he could have taken the shot on himself, but instead he's given play back to Norwich City. Can you explain that, Sam Parkin?
Just didn't know what was around him, just momentarily. If he takes that on his back foot, Jamie Vardy, he's got loads of space to execute his finish in between fullback and centre half. He was in a lovely little bit of space.
Out to the right-hand side. Leicester keep possession and work it back into their own half through Hamza Chowdhury. Wout Faes plays it across to Yannick Vestergaard. Ida eating up the ground to try and close him down. Gives it back to his keeper. And Hermansen gives the ball back to Yannick Vestergaard. Indeed, he comes deep into his own half. Less than quarter of an hour to go, but there's a bit of belief around Carrow Road now, isn't there, Sam Parkin, from the Norwich fans around us?
Yeah, there is. There's been, some good play in this second half. They haven't cut Leicester open. It's come from a few scrambles the last few minutes, some dead balls.
Given away by the goalkeeper. Norwich coming forward off the ball from Kenny McLean. He let fly from 25 yards out. The keeper was out of position, but the ball just didn't dip it up below the crossbar. Smacked against it, back into play, and out of play for a corner kick, and Chowdhury's gone down again with cramp.
I mean, Hermansen's been enjoying himself the last 10 minutes. I mean, he looks like a midfield player playing in goal, doesn't he? Such as his confidence, but that was just a delicious effort from Kenny McLean. He anticipated the ball into the midfield player, indeed I think it was, stepped in front of him and just guided it, just felt it towards the top corner, but unfortunately for him just got a fraction too much elevation and it crashes off the crossbar.
Oh, what's going on here? Chowdhury waits for the Leicester physios to come on and then he springs to his feet like Lazarus. He's just cost himself there, Chowdhury, because he's now got to go off the field and wait for 30 seconds. Although he's actually coming off, he's being substituted as Leicester are making two changes. They're bringing off Hamza Chowdhury to allow James Justin to come on, and also ready to come on is Abdul Fatawu. Looking to see who's coming off for him. It's Mavididi, isn't it, that's coming off to allow Abdul Fatawu, who's on loan from Sporting, to get into the action. So this double change for Leicester, whilst Norwich have this corner ready down to our left-hand side at the Barclay end. So Fatawu and Justin both on to help Leicester defend this corner as they defend this 1-goal lead. Sarah with the corner kick for Norwich. Up go the heads. Duffy was almost in there again. Yanulis, he's lost out, but Fatawu handled it as he tried to launch a counter-attack. Free kick to Norwich, and Fatawu almost gets himself a booking. He hasn't been booked, but Graham Scott's given a number of yellow cards tonight. He could have quite easily issued another one there.
Hit his head, wasn't a handball, and he was in. Bad decision.
Well, it means Norwich have a free kick to the left of centre, 25 yards out, and there's a 4-man Leicester wall being put up just inside the 18-yard line as the vanishing spray is put down by the referee. Millwall 3, Rotherham 0. Right at the end of the game, Tom Bradshaw gets a third for Millwall. Is Gabriel Sara going to go for goal from here? Doesn't really favour the left-footed strike being left of centre, but he might have a go for goal here. Manson's giving him a bit of space to aim at on that left-hand side of the goal. Steps up left-footed, round the wall and into the side netting. He tried, did Gabriel Sara, to find that left-hand side of the goal as we look, but it hit the side netting and rippled against it. And Leicester have a goal kick, and we have just over 10 minutes to go, and Leicester still lead on Talksport 2 by 1-0.
Yeah, I think it's a hard one to get it in that corner from where he was, left-hand side of the box, bending it round. Jamie Vardy was the outside Leicester player. If the goalkeeper's got his angles right there's no way that he can score by going round the wall.
Jamie Vardy for Leicester as the Foxes counter, plays it infield looking for Dewsbury Hall, but Poieta's back to give the ball back to his keeper. Gunn clears under pressure from Dewsbury Hall. Only clears as far as Callum Doyle, who charges infield for Leicester. Then he's dispossessed by Onel Hernandez. Finds Poieta. And the pole strides towards halfway. Closed down by Winks. Gives the ball up to Fatawu. And Leicester have it back. But it's out of play as Norwich get a nick on the ball, and it goes out of play for a Leicester throw. 10 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Norwich City 0, Leicester City 1. Leicester closing in on another away win, a 4th away win at the start of the campaign. And if that was the case, they go within a point of Preston at the top of the championship. A foul on Vestergaard gives Leicester a free kick. As Sam Parky mentioned, they've got Bristol City at the weekend at the King Power, whilst Norwich take a long trip down to Devon to take on Plymouth Argyle on Saturday. Free kick for Doyle, sent downfield for Leicester, but picked up by Jack Stacey for Norwich at right back. And worked back across the back line to Ben Gibson. And now Yanulis in the left back position, midway point of his own half. Hits the ball into the centre circle, volleyed back by Harry Winks. Dewsbury Hall finds Vardy. Vardy finds McAteer, right hand side of the box, pulls it across, but it's cleared away by Gibson. Comes out to McAteer, who keeps it in play, finds Dewsbury Hall, right hand corner of the area. Laid off by Winks for Justin. Now Harry Winks again for Leicester City. Into the centre circle for Wout Faes. Played out left by Vestergaard. Nicked infield for Harry Winks. Leicester keeping the ball well here. Winks again finds Justin. Wang trying to close down the space. But it's Doyle again playing the ball along the deck. Brilliant control by Wilfred Ndidi. Justin again finds Winks just on the halfway line. Vardy's making a run through the centre. That's the intended target, but back comes Yanulis to get a vital touch, and then out comes Angus Gunn to fall on top of the ball. Leicester still lead by 1-0. Sam Parkin.
Very nearly, wasn't it? That's the pass they're waiting for. Good movement from Jamie Vardy, left to right, and very nearly getting in for a finish. Justin's position there, right in midfield alongside Harry Winks. I saw Enzo Maresca remonstrating with Chowdhury about 5 minutes before he came off, I think wanting him to get into that position to give them a little bit of control on the ball.
Kenny McLean kept the ball away from Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi. Now Shemisar Poieta down the left-hand side, good ball into the box, and Fast turns it behind for another Norwich corner, their 5th of the half. 8 to go. Leicester 1-0 up on Talksport 2.
Yeah, to this point, the three centre-halves of Leicester, if you like, Doyle, if you consider him to be playing at centre-half, mainly have been exceptional, I think, defending their box. Everything that Norwich have put in, invariably, it's been a Leicester foot or head that's got to the ball.
Sara with another corner then for the Canaries. Left-footed out swinger. Goes through everybody and goes to the right-hand side of midfield. Picked up for Norwich by Jack Stacey. Rolls it back to Yanulis, who's the last man just inside the Leicester half. Long ball down the centre of the field, comfortably claimed by Mads Hermansen in the Leicester goal. And he will just hold on to the ball for a few seconds before bowling it out overarm to Callum Doyle in space inside his own half. Rolls the ball up to the halfway line of Wilfred Ndidi. And the Nigerian out to the left-hand side for Fatawu. Drills a ball left to right. Lovely ball picked up by Casey McAteer. McAteer, right-hand corner of the Norwich box. Plays it into the area. Dewsbury Hall with his back to goal. Trying to turn maybe and get a shooting opportunity. Out to the left-hand corner of the box, and Fatawu faced up by Onel Hernandez. And Fernandez goes to ground. Fatawu stays on his feet. Plays it to the far post, and McAteer inexplicably heads over the bar from 3 yards out. Everything seemed to stop because Hernandez felt he was fouled by Fatawu. Graham Scott said play on. Fatawu just teased the ball into the far post. McAteer, unmarked, planted a header over the bar when he should have at least got it on target.
But the game should have stopped because it's a foul on Hernandez. Has to be. Fatawu stopped in essence, but he produced a really good delivery when he gets to the byline. And as you said, McAteer's got to work that onto the target.
1-0 to Leicester. Still, we've got just over 5 minutes of normal time to go. Yanulis finds Poheta, does inside the area now. It's a brilliant sliding challenge from James Justin. And then Dewsbury Hall is caught. But Norwich have won the ball back. Gabriel Sara, left-hand side, off the chest of McAteer, or was it the hand? Handball, free kick given to Norwich City, almost level with the Leicester penalty area out on this near touchline. Millwall have beaten Rotherham by 3-0 in the Championship. That's a full-time score at the Den. And Gabriel Sara will swirl in this free kick from this near side with Norwich attacking the Barclay end. Leicester holding their line around the penalty spot, just behind that perhaps. Carrow Road holds its breath. Sara delivers the free kick, headed out by Vardy. Although Stacey heads it out to the Norwich right wing, and Onel Hernandez dummies the cross, moves in field, plays the ball along the deck to Sara, left-hand corner of the area, faced up by McAteer, gets the ball on his right, chips the ball to the far post, brilliant header cleared by Callum Doyle, but it's back with Norwich again. Onel Hernandez this time, Stacey on the overlap right wing, first time cross from Stacey, blocked behind by Doyle. Another Norwich City corner at the Barclay end, but Leicester still 1-0 up.
Yeah, knocking at the door now, Norwich City, and they've got that physicality with the two-pronged attack, and also the centre-halves obviously up there. They're good size, but so far Leicester just about keeping them as arm's length.
Sara's latest corner for Norwich, swirling to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out by Justin away from Shane Duffy, brought down by Yanulis, tried to loft it back into the area, but it came up off the chest of Fatawu and out of play on this near side for a Norwich throw. Yanulis takes it quickly, gives it back to McLean just ahead of the halfway line. McLean outpaces Vardy, finds Yanulis left wing, first time cross, lovely delivery, headed out by Vestergaard that time. Leicester defending valiantly to hold on to this clean sheet and the 3 points that it will bring. And now they're coming down the end, where Jamie Vardy picks the ball up 25 yards out from Dewsbury Hall, squares it left, back to Dewsbury Hall, gets away from Stacey, into the area, tapped in by McAteer, and that's 2-0 to Leicester City. Norwich stopped playing, waiting for an offside flag that did not come, and Casey McAteer rolled the ball into the unguarded net, and that's the point save surely for Enzo Maresca and Leicester, and they will maintain their 100% away record in the Championship. With 3 minutes to go, it's Norwich 0, Leicester 2.
It actually came from Janulis putting in a brilliant ball from the left-hand side for Norwich. Once again, it's repelled, and it's just whether Leicester can get their passes right. Can they connect their passes? Jamie Vardy starts it. I tell you what, the touch from Dewsbury Hall to take it away from Stacey, I think it was sublime. And then the presence of mind to not go for goal, but to square it along the 6-yard box. From McAteer, completely unopposed, just needs to concentrate on the side-footed, right-footed finish. Just caresses it into the unguarded net. Brilliant counter-attacking goal.
2-2 for Casey McAteer. 2-0 to Leicester, full time at Vicarage Road in the Championship. Ian Abrahams.
Watford 2, West Brom 2. All the goals in the opening 23 minutes here. Tom Ince and Mattis Martins with curlers for Watford. In between times, a delicious free kick from John Swift and also a goal from Jem Wallace. Both sides had chances to win it. Both goalkeepers made great saves. We had torrential rain. We had just about everything, and a draw, a fair result. Watford 2, West Brom 2.
So Norwich get played back underway here at Carrow Road. Now 2-0 down, and their 100% home record is biting the dust here tonight, although Onel Hernandez scurries forward but runs into Callum Doyle, and he gets a toe end on it and rolls through to the goalkeeper. Casemiro gets a goal back for Manchester United. They're not quite done yet. 2 minutes of normal time to go over on Talksport. Bayern Munich 3, Manchester United 2 in the Champions League. Braga 1, Napoli 1. Braga equalised with 6 minutes to go at the Quarry, and the goalkeeper Hermansson, whose pulse barely gets above 85, it seems to me, when he's got the ball at his feet, almost hit the ball off either and back into his own net. Very casual, very, very casual, the Leicester keeper, but he's kept a clean sheet. Sam Parkin.
Yeah, he's had a really good night, hasn't he? He's going to cost them a few goals, though, I would suggest.
Callum Gore's just been booked, incidentally, for a bit of back chat, I think.
He presented the ball to Kenny McLean, didn't he, about 5 minutes ago? That nearly cost him. And there again, that could have quite easily have ended up with Adamida deflecting the ball into his net. So there's so much to admire about him, but got to sharpen up in a few moments as well.
It's a long goal kick downfield. Hermansson full time at Ewood Park in the Championship. Talksport 2's Mickey Gray.
Where it has finished, Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3. Goals from Jack Clark from the penalty spot and Dan Neil in the first half. Either side of that, Harry Leonard header gave Blackburn an opportunity going into the second half, but it was Sunderland who added to the lead. Jack Clark with his second goal, a weaving run into the 18-yard box and slotted the ball into the back of the net to give the away side all 3 points, and they move to 4th in the Championship table. It's finished here at Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers 1, Sunderland 3.
Just moving into 8 minutes of minimum stoppage time here at Carrow Road, with Leicester 2-0 up. Norwich will want to throw on the right-hand side. There are one or two that have drifted away from Carrow Road, but there are 8 minutes left in the game. We're into that stoppage time now as Fatawu brings the ball away for Leicester City. Rides the challenge of Kenny McLean, but across in the end comes Sarah to win it back. Full time at the John Smith Stadium as well. Talksport's Alan Biggs.
Yeah, Huddersfield 2, Stoke City 2. Neil Warnock on the field. Fitting send-off for him. Really good game of football. He's taking a bow. Both could have won it. Matty Pearson put Huddersfield in front. Daniel Johnson levelled. Ben Wilmot put Stoke in front. Jack Rudoni levelled. Exciting stuff. Huddersfield 2, Stoke 2.
And Neil Warnock, lap of honour incoming, I'm sure, at the John Smiths. In his final game in charge, we'll have Huddersfield's next game next Monday night live for you on Talksport 2 at Coventry City. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff at the Coventry Building Society Arena. Leicester 2-0 up here, with goals at the end of each half to scupper Norwich City's 100% home record thus far. Wout Faes finds James Justin. They're olaying every completed pass, the Leicester fans opposite us. Bayern Munich 4, Manchester United 2. They got back within a goal again. Manchester United only for Bayern to re-establish a 2-goal cushion. Matisse Tell in stoppage time. That's live on Talksport right now. And of course, all the aftermath of tonight's football discussed in depth on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at 10 p.m. over on Talksport 03717 223344. Whilst here on Talksport 2, another edition of On Track, our motor racing magazine show with John Jackson. That's on the way at the conclusion of this commentary. But we played 2 minutes of the minimum 8 that have been added on, and Leicester 2 goals to the good, and they're sending Wilfred Ndidi away. Lovely skill from Fatawu on the far left hand side of the field, but credit Onel Hernandez, who did not let Ndidi get away down the left-hand side. Full-time at the MKM in the Championship. Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 0, Leeds 0. Liam Racina gave Ryan Alsop his Hull debut tonight. Be glad he did. He made 2 great saves from Jorginho and Somerville in the first half. Roden was sent off for Leeds for 2 bookings on the hour. Hull didn't create a lot, but they created the chance of the game. Connolly in on goal and selfishly squared it to the unmarked Adama Traore. 24,000 here. They all thought he was going to score. He hit the post. Hull 0, Leeds 0.
Norwich in possession inside their own half. 2-0 down at home to Leicester City. On Talksport 2 with 3 minutes of the minimum 8 having gone here at Carrow Road. Poeta, centre of the Leicester half, got options left and right, strokes it to the near side of the left and Giannoulis. Early ball, little back heel from Sara trying to get Wang into the game, but it went past him, straight into the path of Dewsbury Hall, who tried to bring it clear, then he was pushed over by Giannoulis, and Leicester have a free kick and they will look to eat up these remaining minutes and keep the ball and frustrate the hosts. 2-0 up they are, Leicester.
Yeah, I think the timing of the substitutions just gave Leicester that boost back in the ascendancy almost immediately after Norwich had started the second half brighter. Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi giving them that control, giving them that experience, if you like, how to use the ball. Vardy's given them a bit of a threat and they've just defended their box brilliantly. So it's not been all Leicester City and all comfortable, but it's a pretty good showing, isn't it, against, you would say, one of the best teams on current showing in the Championship, certainly the way that Norwich City have started the season. So to be 2-0 up, kind of cantering across the line, it's another show of strength, real show of strength.
Here is Yannick Vestergaard. Finding Callum Doyle, looking very solid again. On loan from Manchester City, played really well for Coventry last season. I think he made 46 appearances for the Sky Blues. Looks very adept at this level.
Yeah, he's going to be top, isn't he?
Yeah, you can just tell, can't you? Playing in left-back role tonight, which he has played before. But he can play centre-half too. Very adept. Lovely touch from Dewsbury Hall. Allows Harry Winks to power forward. Leicester looking to extend the scoreline. Winks bringing the ball forward to about 30 yards out. Flicks it to his right, and McAteer, who scored the second. Caught late there by Giannoulis. Another goal back for Manchester United, 4-3 now. Casemiro has the second of the night. In the 95th minute, Bayern Munich 4, Manchester United 3. That's live on Talksport right now. 5 minutes have gone of added time. Leicester 2-0 up on Norwich City. Norwich win the ball back, but Sara can only hit the ball downfield, and there's nobody in the yellow shirt further downfield for him, so there's bags of time for Yannick Vestergaard to retrieve possession, and it's going to be a very happy trek back down the A14 for those Leicester fans in the South Stand opposite us, as they've seen their side win on the road once again after the away wins that they've already seen at Huddersfield and Rotherham and at Southampton. So tonight they're going to match the number of Premier League away wins they got all last season. And here we are in late September. Ball played up to Dewsbury Hall in the centre circle. Immediately lays it off neatly to Harry Winks. Out to the right-hand side. And Casey McAteer, infield for Dewsbury Hall, 30 yards out. Plays a square ball into the inside left position for Doyle. Out to Fatawu, level with the area. Swings across in it, deflects off Stacey, and that's going to be a comfortable catch for Angus Gunn. And he will clear the ball right-footed downfield. Finds Poeta, who controls the ball well, despite the awkward bounce just in front of him. Arsenal have beaten PSB by 4-0 at the Emirates in the Champions League tonight. Comfortable win for Mikel Arteta's men. Wang for Norwich. Plays the ball back to Shane Duffy on halfway, and Shane Duffy had that brilliant chance to equalise, but for a magic save from Madsen Manson when it was 1-0 to Leicester. That could be a turning point in this game for sure. Poeta looking to turn away from his man, finds Wang at the edge of the area. Little nutmeg past Ndidi, goes for goal and bends it round the post, but it took a nick off a Leicester leg. It's another Norwich corner late on. Leicester trying to preserve their clean sheet. Norwich needs something to grasp hold of, but we're in the last minute of the minimum 8 being added on. Bayern Munich have beaten Manchester United 4-3. That's a full-time score now. And Norwich have another corner. I make it 7 or 8 corners they've had in this second half. And Adam Forshaw has just come on for Ben Gibson for a final change for Norwich in these last knockings. What can Sarah deliver from the corner kick here? In it comes, left-footed in swinger, headed out by Ndidi. Comes out to Forshaw, leaves it for Yanoulis, and he sends the ball back into the right-hand side of the box. He's volleyed across the face of goal, but the offside flag has gone up against Kenny McLean. And it's going to be a free kick for Leicester, and that may well be that in terms of the action tonight at Carrow Road. Sam Parkin.
Yeah, it's a nice pick out. Kenny McLean thought he was in business there. Nice contact on the right-footed volley as well, just trying to square it across the 6-yard box. Offside flag coming to Leicester's aid there. Wang with a nice little bit of individual play, and at least he's been game, hasn't he, the last 10 minutes, Wang, trying to get on the ball, being positive, affecting things when too many have not showed up towards the end.
Full-time whistle goes at Carrow Road, and Leicester City have won all 4 championship away games at the start of the campaign, winning here by 2-0 to go back within a point of the championship leaders Preston. The Leicester fans opposite us in the South Stand acclaim their heroes who scored goals at the end of either half to secure the 3 points. A penalty from Kelechi Iheanacho right at the end of the first half, a second from Casey McAteer right at the end of the 90. Norwich were much better in the second half than they were in the first, and their best chance came from a close range header from Shane Duffy, brilliantly kept out by Mads Hermansen in the Leicester City goal. But the Foxes take all 3 points back down the A14. And have they earned it, Sam Parkin?
I think so. I think really good value. I think an example, a display of the gulf. I think that there possibly is going to be between Leicester City and a lot of the better teams in the Championship this season. I thought that they managed the game really well, defended their box really well. For all Norwich's endeavour, especially in the first half, there was a little bit of a lack of potency, a lack of focal point, a lack of firepower evident in the Norwich ranks, and I think that's probably a product of obviously losing Sargent in the opening weeks of the season. Tonight, Ashley Barnes, I think definitely they're a bit short in that department. Leicester, absolutely not, if you contrast what they've got in the attacking positions. And I thought if we ask questions whether the manager got it right, those timing of the changes and also the quality of the players that were able to come on, I thought that had an effect in the second half. Just when Norwich were on top, couple of changes in the midfield areas, and then Leicester wrestled back that control and could see the game out relatively easy when they got the second goal. So another job, really well done, and 6 points from 2 of the hardest games they're going to get this season at this level.
Yeah, they've beaten one of their fellow relegated sides and a side that were not long last in the Premier League in successive away fixtures. Very, very impressive. Leicester City are readjusting to life back in the Championship very nicely indeed, thank you very much. And they go into the top 2, only Preston keeping them off the summit of the Championship. Norwich showed some good signs in the second half, but ultimately couldn't get themselves level, and Casey McAteer wrapped up the 3 points as we moved into added time. Sam, thanks for your company this evening on Talksport 2. As always, Sam Parkin with us as part of our commentary team. Our next live football here on Talksport 2 is tomorrow. Tea time in the Europa League. Lask against Liverpool. Jim Proudfoot and Ray Houghton will be your commentary team. The Sports Bar is just about to get underway over on Talksport with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. So Leicester fans, Norwich fans, you want to have your say about this particular game that you've just listened to, give Jamie and Jason a call on 03717 2233 44. The Sports Bar is about to get underway over on our sister station Talksport. But right next here on Talksport 2, it's another edition of John Jackson with his motoring magazine. That's coming up next here on Talksport 2. The final score here at Carrow Road, it is Norwich City 0, Leicester 2. On Track coming next.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.